And now, Houston, Texas, make some noise because the time for talk is over. It's time to unleash the fury.
Sorry, everybody.
That's it. Who we got here, Wayne?
Hey, we got our good friend, special guest, Professor Maggie Torres.
This is Houston's newest female black belt.
Yeah, man. Former submission hunter broadcast partner of ours
Texas
back
has
in the
a new
day.
one.
With her husband, Mike Torres. He used to do our commentary on Submission Hunter.
Yes.
She's got a long-running history with her.
Yep.
She was instrumental in our all-female card back in the day.
Sure was.
So, I mean, she's no
Built
stranger to us.
99.9% of that card.
The only nice things they'll say about me.
Congratulations, Professor.
That's it. Those
So
are
if
all nice
anything
things.
went wrong with that card, y'all call Maggie.
That was the best card, by the way. People still reach out to me about that.
That's a
Are
great
you
card.
getting used yet to people calling you Professor?
No,
It's
no,
so weird, right?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Actually, I was walking by, where were we the other day? And somebody said, "Hey, Professor," and I kept walking, and they were like, "Professor." And I was like, "Oh, you're talking to me?" Yeah, I still even in the academy, people will say Professor, and I'm like, "Let me go get Mike for you." Walk off. It's
So you
weird.
respond to Maggie still.
Yeah, and, they call me awkward front desk lady. Almost nobody calls me Maggie at the gym. I'm awkward front desk lady.
You still work the front desk over there?
I do.
And you teach classes now.
No, she like retired from teaching.
I know that was going to
toward
be
the
my
front
next
desk,
thing.
right?
It's
Yes.
sad.
Do you miss that?
Oh my God, I miss it so much.
So you were a high school history?
I wish. No, English.
English, right?
High school English teacher.
Yeah. English and communication.
She's a word Sally.
A word salad.
That's why she's a word
Bing.
salad.
There's one.
So I said
Already got-
mycology. No, I really miss it. I miss my students. I don't miss teaching in Texas, though, if I'm honest. I don't really miss the
Tomball High School where my kids go.
state of education
Oh,
in Texas.
you taught the same school his kids go?
I started at that school, and
His
then I
kids
moved
suck,
to...
right?
They're the best.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They're actually the best. And then I moved to Tomball Star Academy. It's like
Whatever.
a
Eric
early
bribed her to
college.
pass on.
No.
They were never in my
So
class.
how long?
actually,
How long were you a teacher?
14 years.
Oh, wow.
And you walked away from that to hang out with your husband more?
Yeah, right? That was crazy.
Jeez.
No, the testing, everything, I didn't enjoy it anymore. So.
But you enjoyed it for a long time.
Yeah, I enjoy
Yeah,
my
it's
students.
changed a lot,
I love
especially in
them.
14 years, I'll bet. Like, seeing what it was and what it is
can't-
now.
Yeah, you can't teach anything. Like, it got to a point where, like, I would, like, give them a book to read, and somebody would be like, "You communist! Like, why do you have my child reading
God.
To Kill a Mockingbird?" Like, or whatever it was. And I was just like, this is not fun anymore. I
Was
can't
it
do
always high school?
No, it should have been. But I had middle schoolers in Korea,
Okay.
and that was the worst.
So that's where you started teaching in Korea.
No, I started teaching in the U.S. I worked with actually adults. Okay, I lied. Actually, I started with adult ESL students.
It's okay to lie here.
Yeah,
That's
I started
fine.
with
We lie all the time.
actually working with refugees. I started teaching ESL to a lot of refugees, and then I taught a little bit in Ohio. Then I went to Korea. Then I came back to the U.S. So
And then you met Professor Mike in Korea.
in South Korea, yeah,
And
The
so,
love of your life.
he is. I love that man.
so Mike's the one who got you into jiu-jitsu.
No, okay, this is a big.
Yeah.
You got Mike into jiu-jitsu.
Neither one.
Okay.
But
Alright.
We
it
lie
was-
here.
It was
Okay.
love
Yeah.
at first
They
triangle.
thought they were going to a karate class together.
Okay.
And, yeah.
No, actually, he left. This is weird. So he was stationed in Korea
And then Mike was in the army.
at the army base, yeah.
Okay.
And he brought one of his friends out. Absolute idiot. Shout out to Shane if you're ever watching this. I don't know if you're alive. I don't know where you are. You're the dumbest person on the planet, but we miss you. Shane was narcoleptic. Shane probably still is narcoleptic. Shane was a bomb maker, right?
Oh,
A
shit.
narcoleptic bomb maker.
Is
This sounds
that
like
the
the
one where they
beginning
have
of a
sex with
joke.
corpses? Or?
Yeah.
That sounds like the beginning of a
He
joke.
would like he would fall asleep
Yeah.
randomly. So Mike left us with him in the streets of like Seoul. So it's me and my rugby teammates, and we end up having to carry this dude through like the streets of Seoul. And I was like, man, this guy is not a gentleman. What an asshole. And then I ran into him at a tournament
Sounds like a
later
Bruce
on, and I was
Springsteen
like,
song.
he's still kind of an asshole. And he came to train with our black belt. And then I made the mistake of doing that thing white belts do where they like dig their elbows in. And Mike was like, don't ever dig your elbows in. And then he triangled me, and I went home and called my mom, and I was like, I'm in love.
This is in Korea?
Yes.
And then she
is
said,
it.
my mind's telling me no, but his elbows.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so he did not get me into jiu-jitsu, but I would say that he's like, I wouldn't even say he really kept me in jiu-jitsu. I think we've been like maybe some degree, because I'm very competitive.
But y'all were, so Mike was a white belt in Korea?
No, he was a blue belt, and then when I met him, and I think he went back, and then he, for like a couple weeks or something. And he came back and he had a purple
So he was
belt.
training before he went to the Army.
Oh yeah, he was the first student at his black belt's gym, and so it was just one-on-one for like.
Where was that at?
That was in Yorktown, Virginia.
Oh.
Yeah, and so he got his blue belt in like 5 months, which
Holy
now is
shit.
unheard of. But like that was all he was doing. Was
That's
training.
very
Yeah.
unheard of now.
And then he started teaching in Korea. He was teaching combatives there, and when he came back, he was a purple belt.
Yeah, because when I met Mike at Travis's, he was a purple belt already.
Yeah, he was there for a while.
And he was tough, man. I remember those first rolls with Mike. I was like, who is this fucking guy?
It's like a gorilla.
Well, he
Like
is
a
now.
flexi- like
I
a
mean-
flexible gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is
Yeah.
now. But I mean, you got to think too. When I met Mike, he was like 170 pounds.
Oh, that was the worst. That was the whole year of weight cuts. Like everybody who met Mike then thought that was like Mike's natural size. It was not. He was the most miserable. How we stayed
Oh,
together
shit.
during those years, I have no idea because this guy's cutting like 25 pounds. Like,
Elbows.
every time he's fighting. Like he was at maybe 170 something when I met him, and that was like.
And for a little while there, Mike was thinking about fighting MMA.
Yeah.
I
He
would have
did.
loved to see that transition, man.
I don't. That might be my fault that he didn't.
I would've
was like,
loved
you already
it.
got brain damage, man. Like,
How old
there's
is
no
Mike
reason
now?
to- Mike is, I'm horrible. 32.
Oh, he's got
32.
time.
he's a baby.
He's got time.
Wait till Mike gets here. About
No,
to talk
don't do
Mike's
it.
ass
We're-
into
Don't
it.
do it.
He
Don't
can't-
talk him into it.
He can get one. Let's get
Short
one.
notice. Short notice
Just
this
take-
Sunday.
just
But
take
he's
the guy
like,
down.
but in combatives, like they have tournaments. You fight all the time.
Yeah.
He's been knocked out before. He's been punched before. Like he knows that he can take a punch. I think his passion right now, though, I think he didn't realize it, is coaching.
Those combative tournaments are tough.
It's like the
Tough,
Wild
man,
West.
tough. So like I enlisted in '99, and so I'm slightly older, and like the first round of combatives tournaments, I want to say it came around like 2001. And I remember like we would go to those, and it was like you were just in a fight, man. You're sitting your BDUs in a fight. Like that's all it actually was. And then it became like a 2-day tournament. And
I never
it's-
watched him. I couldn't. He told me he got knocked out once. I was like, yeah, definitely knocked out.
Mike did?
Yeah, it was like he was winning. He was like arm-barring this guy.
Yeah.
And the guy was just like hammer fist, and he got
So
flushed,
basically,
knocked out.
it's basically you're in your BDUs, and like it's your camouflage.
I've seen
gear.
them do. They do it in Colleen, right? On
yeah,
base.
yeah, you're in your camouflage gear, and you have
Hiding from
yeah,
people.
you have gloves on. I don't know why. I mean, you know why we did it, but and you have gloves on. You're basically it's just a fight. There's
You
just
got
no cage.
whooped, huh?
Yeah, I got whooped every time. Every time.
Look at Rich. Does
The
Rich
devil
look like
knows
he
I'm
would
talking
win?
about.
Of course. Yeah, of course
I
not.
think so.
Of course not. Of course not. Just your average bald white guy. It's okay. Now that we've had the brown people talk, Wayne, how's it going over here, buddy?
Hey, man,
How's-
you know,
Hey, your facial hair is coming back.
it's just one of those things,
I
man.
had to shave it off, man. But not the top. The top. Why was that such a big deal? Like,
He walked into submission to her the other day, and Tara was like, "What happened to your face?"
Wait, what happened?
He shaved his beard and shit off.
so usually it's like longer, but it's not like
I'm
some
waiting for Wayne to
ogre
do it.
beard.
Yeah,
It's just usually longer, and so
What,
every now and
go
then
shave, like clean
I'll
shave.
just shave for no, not a big
Gotta
deal.
pay
I'll just
for that.
shave it, clean up, get ready for the next quarter.
How does your wife feel about that?
Oh, she doesn't care.
Really?
Yeah, she doesn't
No,
care.
one time.
Oh,
one,
no,
That's
no,
not
that's
true.
a lie.
I get
That's
mad.
a lie.
I would get
Because,
mad if Mike was
hey,
shaved
a
without
couple of
consulting
months
me.
back, yeah, he let his facial hair grow out, and I think he just left the mustache.
Oh,
No,
I
that's not a
did.
thing.
I did like the.
And
the
Sam was
handlebar
like,
Fu Manchu
What
thing.
is that?
Sam was like, "You're not gonna keep that." He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I am."
Yes.
So he like kept
Now
it
I really
for
I
an
kept it
extra
for like a week.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, I kept it for like
Yes.
a week. Rocked around for like a week with it.
And then he's like, "Hey, I got to get laid
No,
again, so
like
I'm gonna
this,
shave this."
this is not. I mean, she's not crazy about when I do stuff like that because I mean I don't have any other hair to grow out at this point, so it's like she's used to that. But if I switch between like a goatee or a beard, she usually doesn't say too much. But I know she prefers the beard.
Yeah.
She definitely prefers the beard. As my daughter walked out, getting ready to turn 13, puts her hand up and like touches my face. She goes, "No." Walked away. So I had that
With the
morning.
beard? Or
Without the beard.
Okay.
And then I've got Tara saying something. I've got Andrea saying something.
Beards are makeup for men.
Evidently,
They really are.
Evidently, I am fugly
No,
without
no,
my
I didn't
beard.
mean it like that. Like, oh man, you
She just hit me with a.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh no, I didn't
She
mean it
just
like
said,
that.
"Put your makeup
no.
on."
You really do look almost 50.
Oh, no.
Rich. Good job.
Everybody but you. No,
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
but
everybody-
you.
yeah.
No, I mean you have facial hair now. Like, I didn't mean it like that.
Well, so it was good
What
to
was
have
next
you
on
on
the
today's
agenda?
show.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Diego's waiting for you outside.
So we know you love jujitsu, but your first sport love was rugby, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And how long you played rugby from a young age, or
I
you
can't
got?
even remember. Like I feel like I played rugby so long I don't even know when I started playing rugby.
Did-
I think probably not like seriously until like high school.
And you didn't play rugby when you were in Korea.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
I played in Scotland. I played in South Korea. Really, anywhere that I've ever gone, I try and find rugby.
Yeah, she
Like,
was
that
like Pele
the-
in South Korea, man. She's like the greatest rugby player to ever live.
I probably was not
Did
that good in
Pele
Korea.
play
I drank
rugby?
too much.
No. That's why I said like Pele. That's why I said like Pele. It's my
Yeah,
closest
that's
reference. Okay, name a famous rugby player, man.
the entire-
do it.
Johnny
You do
Wilkinson,
it.
Jonah Lomu.
She's
Like,
gonna tell you.
how
Well,
all.
long-
she can, of course.
All right, I can tell you about the All Blacks and,
Yeah.
and the team, the All Blacks.
stop.
So I can. Some of my favorite blacks have played for the All Blacks.
But
No, no.
I mean, yeah,
Thank
that
you.
Jonah Lomu was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jambalama. See what I'm saying? 2 llamas in a bag.
I love
What are you
jambalaya.
doing? Jambalaya is delicious.
Jambalaya is awesome.
So
I
what,
hate you guys.
what got you into like rugby? That's not a sport that most, not even like women, most people. hop
Most
in and start
men are
playing.
not
Yeah.
gonna want to play that
No,
shit.
they don't.
I just thought everything else was boring. This is gonna sound like really cocky, and I don't mean it that way. I was really good at like every sport that I tried. Like I was
Nice.
very good at it growing up, and then rugby was hard, and that's what made me stick with it. It's the same thing with jiu-jitsu. I sucked at jiu-jitsu, so I stayed with it. Rugby was like hard, but also I was an angry kid, but nobody will believe this. But I was not. I was a kind of quiet kid for a while anyway, and it was the only way to like get out. Like my feelings, like how I felt. I loved hitting people. Like I loved taking contact. And then I realized like, oh man, this is great. Like I want to do this forever. And so it was just a good outlet for me.
Hey guys, that violent moment is brought to you by Sheath Underwear. Make sure you guys go check out Sheath Underwear, sheathunderwear.com. Great sponsor of the podcast. Violence in your underwear. So, do you go see like professional rugby here in town, like you used to in Sabercats?
I've seen the Sabercats. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not as much now because I can't take Cairo anywhere. That's my 3-year-old. He's like demonic.
He's a terrible child, right?
He's the cutest thing in the world, but he's
But-
so poorly behaved. Like it's just.
yeah.
He's gotten better though. Like,
Cairo's awesome.
He's nice to you. He's nice to you. He's like.
Listen,
horrible
we
to me.
all where'd Wayne go? We all understand that, like, like my kid sucks, but for some reason everybody else seems to like this
Yeah.
devil child that I have
I
hanging
just
out.
thought everybody was being nice to me because our name was on the building. Like I was like, everyone's just nice because it says Torres up there. Because Cairo will be terrorizing people. The other day, the last open mat we had, he went like over the top of this guy, and this guy's like, "Hey, buddy," and he's like stretching, and Cairo spit in his face.
Oh wow.
It's the most,
So
like,
he's in the dominatrix shit already? That's
disrespectful-
crazy.
Stop!
That's crazy.
Why are you like this?
I
Why are you
can't
like
believe
this?
Well, you got aggressive mom, aggressive
Oh, my
dad,
God.
anger issues. This makes
It was
sense.
bad. It's embarrassing. But I'm gonna get him in rugby soon, actually.
Nice.
Is he
there-
training yet?
Huh?
Is Cairo training?
I tried to take him to training. He talks a big game. He's like, I want to go to jiu-jitsu. And then I went to put him on the mat, and he's like, I'm scared, mama. And I was like, all right,
Wait,
we'll
how
try
old is he,
again later."
3?
He's 3.
Three.
We usually start kids around 4, but there's a kids touch rugby league, and I'm going to start him in that. So,
Follow Dad. I see Dad's following Cairo's hair.
yeah.
No,
It looks
you see
good. I
Mike's
like
hair?
it.
Last I saw, I just don't like his hair. It's too beautiful.
He's got great hair.
Like, he's like
even
Troy
when he like
Polamalu
shaves
running
it all
around.
off and it's like a number 1, he's got like the perfect hairline and shit.
It's disgusting.
I like the curls, though. I love it.
I didn't
Everyone
know his
thinks
hair was that
Cairo got
curly.
his hair from me, and I keep telling people, no, actually,
I thought it was
that's
from
mine.
you too.
Like,
I didn't know
mine's
Mike's
a
hair
lot
was
cooler.
that curly.
I thought he had a perm.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican. People forget that he's Puerto Rican,
Oh,
Costa
he
Rican.
is Puerto Rican. Oh my.
They got the.
He's
the
from New York?
locks.
That's all. Oh, I was just making a joke. He's from New York.
Yeah,
He
he's
is
from
from
New York.
It
Nuyorican.
was a,
Where were you
good guess.
Hey, when
It was a good guess.
When a
right?
stereotype isn't a
West,
stereotype,
West.
you know? I mean,
Where?
Madison, Wisconsin. That's where my family are.
So you were born in Wisconsin. Mike was born in New York. Did y'all tell me that y'all met in Korea?
South Korea. Yeah.
And then did y'all like separate and then y'all found each other again?
No.
So
No,
once y'all
actually,
met in South
we
Korea,
met,
it was.
and he pretty much
Eric's just rewriting their story.
y'all-
kind of
y'all-
like
No, I
moved
don't know.
into my apartment, sort of like in
Right.
Korea.
That's a power move right
but
there.
except for he was in the army and you're not allowed to do that, so
Yeah.
he got in trouble because they did like an all call or whatever it's called, and he wasn't in his room, so he got in trouble, and so
Wah,
we had
wah.
to go visit. Hello. We had to go visit him. I had to start going to like visit him because he was like
Yeah.
on lockdown. He was in trouble, so I'd have to
Oh,
like
shit.
drive up there. Well, I didn't drive. Nobody drives. You take the subway. Like up there to see him, and then basically he just moved into my apartment, never left, and then. I think I remember now. His grandma ended up passing away, so he went. We were supposed to go travel to Japan, but he ended up going home. And then he was just like, "Hey, so I think we should just like keep being a thing. Do you want to like move to Virginia with me?" And I was like, "Sure."
What brought y'all to Texas?
Mike's mom got cancer, and she actually at the same time that she got cancer, she fell down the stairs and broke both of her wrists. I know I'm laughing. That's not funny. It's just terrible luck.
Golly.
I'm not laughing.
Eric's got to stop
Connie,
asking
I'm
questions.
not laughing.
Everything Eric asks is a tragedy.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing because I was like, what a dark like.
Yeah.
But
I'm
honestly,
not saying
and you
nothing.
laughing about it, but
well,
you're allowed. You know
everybody
her,
has a
so.
good sense of humor about it now because it was just like, man, how many
Mike's
shitty
mom is the
things
nicest.
can you
Is there
go
video?
through at the beginning of your relationship?
Just curious.
So she got cancer and fell down the stairs and broke both her
the
wrists.
same day.
Well, sorry, she actually fell down
How
the stairs
crazy?
and broke both her
How
wrists first. I
shitty of a
believe.
day?
That's some bad luck.
How of a day would that
Stop
be? You
it.
come-
It
you
can't
come
get
home-
any worse.
You come home from the doctor,
Boom,
like,
down the
"Fuck, man,
stairs you
I
go."
got cancer. I gotta tell everybody. You
Connie, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
But wait, there's more.
Poor Connie.
And then they set her shoes on fire outside
She's
of the building.
lying on the ground,
God,
broken
stop!
wrist. Her dog runs out the door. No!
Got ran over.
Gets run over.
Oh, and then the dog got sick too.
Oh my
See?
Yeah.
God.
See, man. Okay.
Oh.
So
we ended up
so
here.
y'all make it back to Texas and
Well, we were in Virginia first,
And then happily ever after. Yeah. They
So
made
was
it
he
to Texas
stationed
and
at
happily ever
Fort
after.
Lee in Virginia, or were y'all?
I didn't know him then, so I'm
Okay.
not sure. I didn't mean to be like,
when
I
you said
didn't
y'all,
know him.
so he was out of the army by the
So
time.
yeah, he was out of the army when we
Gotcha.
first moved back.
Gotcha,
We went,
okay.
He had a job working at the school that he'd started at teaching jujitsu. It was at the time it was called Jiu-Jitsu Institute in Yorktown with Professor Ben Eaton.
That's
and
a long
then,
name.
Yeah.
That is a long
And then I found a job teaching in Hampton Roads, which was an experience.
You were teaching the hillbillies in Virginia.
It was not hillbillies. That was the most hood school.
The key in Virginia
yeah, I forget
is
York.
overall.
I was in
Yeah.
Hampton. Well, we lived in Newport News, but I taught in
Thank you.
Hampton.
That was good.
It's
Yeah.
New York light.
It was,
everybody's no-gi gear was the same as that guy that comes out.
Hillbilly Jim.
What's his name?
I forget his name,
Tom
but
Ball's
the,
more
the,
than
the
that.
Hillbilly Jim
Joseph
overalls.
Carroll.
Yeah, everybody
Joseph
wears
Carroll.
Joseph Carroll's get up. You seen the overalls, the overall rash guard and
Yeah.
pants?
It looks
Oh,
like the cowboy
yeah,
farmer.
That's cute. I like that.
I do wear some cool stuff, man.
Is that what
He
everybody
stands
wore
out.
in Virginia during no-gi class?
It was.
Was that the gi?
Probably a lot of
The
saggy
gi was
pants.
overalls in Virginia, right?
You know what? No, that was still in the time where people were like showing up with T-shirts and stuff and didn't feel weird about it. Like,
There was
Yeah.
a-
For
like
no-gi?
T-shirts and gi pants and
Try
stuff.
getting
and,
a
like,
baseball
people were-
choke.
There was the one guy who was
Coveralls.
super into it who had Under Armour shirt on.
Yes,
It's- you know,
actually, I
like-
was that person.
Yeah.
I had like a Superman
Y'all,
one.
y'all remember that time you had the they had the Superman, the Spider-Man. You wore the
People
Under
didn't
Armour
care
shirt.
as much then. Like they just wanted to train. Like that's when everybody was just there to train and train hard, so they didn't really care what you were wearing.
So obviously Mike had a huge passion for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Did he talk about y'all owning a school one day? And
The first day that I met him, he told me, I asked him, I was like, so what's your dream? And he was like, I'm going to own a jiu-jitsu school and I want to help veterans. And that was kind of, and I was like, that's really cool. And he was like, yeah, I want to see my name on a building someday. So
damn.
I got a little bit
Boom.
emotional when even though we've had some issues with the new gym that we're moving into, when I saw that big
That shit's
logo and I
badass.
saw his
I
name
saw
on
it.
it, it made me a little emotional because it's kind of cool to see all of that hard work. Materialized. So pretty cool.
That's a great feeling, though.
It really is. It's cool.
I can tell you from like when we first opened our schools, and like walking in 2017 when I walked in.
Burmaster Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, no. When we walked, no one wants my name on bullshit. That's too long. No one wants that.
Richard
Burmaster.
Burmaster, karate, jiu-jitsu.
Hey,
Hop
Burmaster
keto and Aikido.
is in the Mercedes-Benz sound system.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. You're welcome. But it's not like this feeling of just accomplishment, but now you have to like protect this brand that is you. Like you are that brand. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's made me have to like calm down, not put crazy stuff up on social media.
You have to.
If you knew me 5 years ago,
It's hard.
I'd
It's
like
very
to
hard.
apologize, but I'm not sorry.
Ask Rich about
but-
us. Well, I'm ready to fucking
Yeah.
go off and attack.
Oh,
Oh,
people
yeah.
write
Oh,
crazy
man.
stuff. Like
I'm like, dude.
I used to be in the
We've
Submission
got
Hunter
stories.
comments, like actually idiot. Like it's you can't do that, but
Yeah, you have to actually be somewhat
professional. It's hard.
professional now. Which
hard.
You should have to be though, to be fair.
Well, every now and then, like one of my Facebook memories will pop up, and I'm like, I should go delete that. Like, I don't-
No, you should
Just don't
remember.
share it. Yeah, just
It's
don't
gonna keep
share
you
it.
humble. You should remember where you started.
Well, some of them might get me sued. When I see some of these, I'm like, I shouldn't have said
Yeah,
that.
some stuff doesn't age well.
I want
does it?
you know which I want to find that post that I posted when me and Seth Daniels were going back and
I
forth.
knew.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I
I
have it
knew.
screenshotted.
I was thinking
I'm
that.
pretty
I
I
don't
want
know
to
if bring it
find
up or
that.
not.
I've never seen that memory
Which,
pop up.
which one of y'all
They-
mentioned
they
the
might
Gucci
have
belt or
deleted
the
it.
You know
Gucci?
how to
They-
search for it, right?
Didn't they start the post?
Type in.
Yeah, I think they did.
If they created the post, I mean, then they
No,
probably
I
did.
created the
You,
post.
Did
Did
you
you?
put his name in it?
Uh, I don't think I put his name in
whatever-
it. I
you
think he
search
just
a
started
few,
commenting.
Like, keywords, and
Yeah.
I found this out because I'm petty, and this is how I've been finding old stuff that I wrote about. You search a few keywords, and then you go in the search bar, and then you go to the top, and you filter it so that it says "post from me," and it'll only show you
man.
"post from you," and then you can see all the.
So
paragraphs
if I-
people-
What not to do if you don't
All
want
I-
to be reminded of your
All
past?
I remember is one of them started mentioning like Gucci and Louis Vuitton belts or shoes or something, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh no, I think he wrote that about you, right? Like.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Probably.
if I go in there and put no,
Yeah.
but I'll fight you, Nogi,
yeah.
then it should pop up.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
it will.
Seth wanted to fight Eric. He's like, hey, I challenge you to a grappling match. And Eric was like, fuck you,
Okay.
man. I'll grapple with my friends. I'll fight you in a cage. It was a thing that just
You guys are
blew
cool
off
now, right?
huge.
You're fine now, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But in the
good.
moment, whenever Eric decided to get into the grappling game, I guess,
That
didn't
was a
sit well.
weird. That was a weird time where like.
Yeah. Fight to win was going to corner the
You're-
market.
Yeah, you're not. You're not allowed. Like, listen, I'd love to see competition. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'd love for you to come do as good of a job as we are. Cool.
Yeah.
You can't. You won't last. So like I encourage competition. I want to see people come out. Put together another amateur MMA. Put together a professional MMA. Put together a grappling series. If it works and you do a great job, that's another place that people can go train, people can go work, and people can be seen. That's only going to make us even bigger.
Yeah.
So when you come out and you can't do what I do because I did it first.
Yeah.
Well, someone did it before you, so piss
Yeah.
off.
That's
Well,
true.
what about somebody doing it in the same place?
That's petty.
Because you wouldn't want somebody to come put a jiu-jitsu gym right across the street from Torres
I
Jiu-Jitsu.
actually literally was just gonna have this. Was gonna say that. I remember telling Mike when there was a gym that like moved down the street. I was like, oh my god, why would they do that without saying whatever? And Mike was like, more competition's good for us. He's like,
100%.
nobody's got a product better than me right now. And he's like, and I know that for a fact.
I can tell you, like
Oh,
when
wow.
I was putting our second gym, our Katie
But
gym
yeah, I
in,
agree.
like I did look to see, like who's where, like because there I got Jeff Messina, I got Hyan Gracie,
Yeah.
I got Mark Beecher, I got all these places around us. And I didn't want to be on top of my friends. I definitely want to be right on top of Jeff or right on top
Yeah.
of Ted Stickler, one of those guys. But also at the same time, man, I'm not scared of my programs compared to someone else's
No.
programs. So if you want to move in
More
down the
jujitsu
yeah,
better for everybody because you can find like there are some people that there's frankly you don't want in your school. It doesn't fit. Like
Yeah.
now that I've taken over like the leads and things, I've had people reach out and they'll tell me something that's a red flag and I'm like, this might not be the school for you. I've got a recommendation.
yeah.
And and that's okay because like if it disrupts my peace, it's too expensive. I don't want it. So I think that's kind of similar. But I think with promotions, it's a little different because you're sharing. The frustration comes from the fact that sometimes you're sharing fighters, right? And so if somebody gets injured on this card or something like, and I can understand that, but I think like people should view it as healthy competition because in the end, it's growing jujitsu.
So the way I look at it, and I think it's probably from someone.
Man, this was
it's
a
very
little
very
more,
easy.
too fast.
Very
a little
easy.
too,
to
I went
drink,
down a
right?
little too smooth.
It's good. Don't play smart. It'll be good.
I think I needed some more ice in there.
Yeah, we got.
I was like,
Brought to
I
you
don't
by
want
Hallerhead.
ice.
That's a Howlerhead whiskey endorsement for you, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a Hallerhead.
I dumped
whiskey
out all the
moment.
ice. I was like, I don't want more ice. Who needs ice? I want
Yeah.
whiskey.
What do you
It's
think about
delicious.
Hallerhead? This ain't your first time drinking it.
No, this is. You know what I like about this? All right, do y'all know who Amy Winehouse is?
Yes.
Okay.
R.I.P.
Yes, probably one of my favorites ever. Amy Winehouse had this drink called a Rickstasy, which is like you drink it, you're gonna be in the corner for the rest of the night. Like it's banana liqueur, it's like 3 types of like it's whiskey, like 3 other types of like vodka, but this tastes
Half
like
a glass of codeine.
like an easier version of a Rickstasy, and
Yeah.
that's why I like it.
It's really good. It's oddly smooth to drink.
Are you
and
mixing
I don't like
it?
banana stuff.
Or are you drinking it straight?
Well, I put a little dash of Coca-Cola in there.
But
so
you
that's-
drink it straight.
Hey, listen,
it's
you gotta
good.
put that with some root beer, get some monkey beer going on. I'm telling you, it's
That
so
actually
good.
sounds really good.
It is
It's
pretty
I don't really
good.
drink a lot of soda, but that does sound good.
What the hell were we talking? Oh, competition.
Right.
So it can be frustrating sometimes when you go and you lose a fighter and then you can't find like someone to replace
Yeah.
them because they're. But also at the same point, if that gym and those fighters choose to fight for someone else because they think that's better for them, hey, have at it. You're making the wrong decision. You're making the wrong choice, and there is a reason why I would say 95%, maybe higher, of the good fighters in Texas, and I don't mean just like they're like people who have shots to go to the UFC. They're on our roster.
You know my
There's-
Fury? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
they're signed to us.
For
They're
sure.
signed to our roster because why would they go anywhere else? And the same thing with like now it's harder with Sub Hunter. You don't really like sign people to a roster
Yeah.
on Sub 100, but maybe.
But when you prove yourself repeatedly, you don't have to keep telling people how good you are. Like, that's kind of how I see it. Like, if I'm winning, like if I have results, if I'm doing what I need to do, I don't have to get up here and beat my chest and tell you I'm good. You know I'm good because now
Right.
you're focused on me. And so that's kind of, I don't mean me literally. That's not really cocky, but like.
No, you mean you, Maggie.
That's kind of how I
Yeah,
see it.
you mean you.
like-
We understand.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't disagree, but I don't think competition's bad. I think it does suck though when people are intentionally doing things to be like petty and like undercut each other and stuff. And I
Yeah.
think my issue before with some of the like falling out with with Seth or whoever it was.
You
with
don't
me,
add all the
it
additional
felt-
names to the pie?
It felt like that's the only one I'm really super familiar with. But it felt like kind of petty and intentional, and I feel like there's no reason to do that. If you're doing everything that you need to do, then why?
With Seth,
yeah.
Hey, could you chew your ice any louder in the mic for all of us to hear?
that's all right.
Hey, this ice moment was brought to you by Live Oat Vodka.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out Live Oat Vodka.
And I don't
Texas's
even-
only
yeah,
vodka.
I don't
It
even
might be
mean
some
you
of the
guys. I mean
others.
more people who like represented like the organizations, like people arguing about whether you should be on here or reaching out to somebody saying, "Don't do this card, don't do this card." Like,
Yeah.
don't mess up opportunities.
Well, that was
for
a
people.
really, for me, when that shit happened, that was a really fucked up moment because I didn't know
you
I
thought
was.
y'all were cool.
Yeah, I had hired Seth. For people that don't know, Seth worked with me years ago when I first started promoting back in 2010. Seth reached out and said, "Hey, I can do your lighting, I can bring the cage, I can do all that." So we became friends. And he would come and set up and do the cage, do the lighting for my MMA events. And then it kind of stopped, and he sold his equipment to Jack
That's right, I
Morris,
forgot about that.
and Jack and Alex Black took it over.
Right.
And
They
then
were
I
doing it. I started with you.
right, and then I talked to Seth just here and there in passing and stuff, whatever. But I thought we were still cool.
Yeah.
And then years later, you know, when I decided in 2016 that I was going to start Submission Hunter Pro, the day I released either the Apply Now or the poster, like all of a sudden Seth and Missy fucking went in on Facebook and started this bullshit ass promotion. This is going to be garbage, and who does he think he is? And that was because like Missy was training at Team Took with us, and I had just probably talked to her at the gym as friends like a couple days before.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the fuck was that?
I think she was the one that fired the first shot. She wanted to fight you first or something, right? Or I don't know. Somehow.
I don't know.
Some-
Like the
Somehow-
first like male and female
Yeah.
match on a card.
Yeah,
or-
she
I
said
think,
something about.
I think that was hard too and weird because you guys trained together, y'all were friends
Yeah.
there. Like,
Well, me and Jose were really good friends.
yeah.
So many things can
And
be
Jose was
solved,
dating
though,
her.
Yeah.
by like not posting shit on social media and actually just like reaching out to people, be like, "Hey, we've got an issue," but 9 times out of 10 people don't do that.
No, I reached out to both of them before I
Yeah.
posted anything, and I was like, "Hey, if y'all want to talk about this, because this shit,
Well,
like,
you
I had
didn't
no,
start that at all. Yeah.
I had no idea that y'all, and neither one responded. So I was like, okay,
You know what though? The more successful you get, the more common this is. I remember my dad telling me at a certain point, it's always stuck with me. My dad said, "You know, people are okay with you until you start doing well.
right,
People are
or until
cool-
you're doing better
Until
than
you
them.
start doing better
and
than
even if
them,
you're
yeah.
not doing better
Yeah.
than them, like people are cool with you when you're not a threat, when you're not competition. The
Sure.
second that like that flips, then you're gonna
Yeah.
see who your friends are. Then you're gonna see who really supports you. And I found that to be completely true throughout all of
Well,
them.
I've lost a lot of friends and family.
Yeah.
But hey, you found out who your real friends and family
Yeah.
are too.
Yeah, you know, it happens, and sometimes you find out that, like, you know, blood doesn't always equal family, you know, and you know, just relationships and marriage and things don't always equal family. Like, I've got more. My family is my friends. Like, my friends are my true family, and so like when we talk about, you rarely will see us, anyone at Fury, you rarely see anybody through Garcia Promotions respond to somebody online. It's very rare. Then when we do, it's probably aggressive. It's probably,
We've had enough.
we've had, but for the most part,
Yeah,
I
there's
think
just no
we all
time for
kind
it,
of carry
man.
the way. One, we don't have time for it. Number two, I don't value the opinion of someone beneath me.
Oh,
And-
he said
and-
peons.
Yeah, I mean, you're a peasant. When you see me kick up,
Ric Flair of
I
you,
kick
you're
up
peasant.
that pinky when I'm having my Starbucks drink, baby. You're a peasant. I
Stop.
don't care about your
You
opinion.
said
Rich Burmaster punches up.
100%.
Okay.
Your opinion means nothing to me.
Fair.
There's about 4 people in the world who I consider above what we do, and they're all at the UFC. So
Yeah,
outside of that, I don't care what your opinion is. If Mick calls and says, "Hey, you guys, man, I'm going to listen," but if you're some ragtag promotion that's done a handful of events and have sent nobody. You don't know how to do matchups. You don't know how to get anybody to the UFC. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah. And to
Suck
add to
nuts.
that,
All
if
right.
you are from a ragtag promotion or whatever it is, or you're just starting out, you know, the best way to make your promotion better is not by attacking other people's promotions. If you haven't figured out by now that you need a mentor, like that you need to find somebody who's doing, like, I always believe that you find somebody who's more successful than you, and you find out how to be successful. And then
Right.
they can share that with somebody else, and you kind of pass it on and pass it on and pass it on. And if you haven't learned how to do that yet, you're not going to be successful.
It's funny. It's funny you mention that because you'll see the promotions like we support Brendan Allen's All In Louisiana, so they're not on Fight Pass. But if Brendan calls and says, "Hey, I'm trying to find a match for this guy. Or I need this," like we'll take the time to help him. I'll share his stuff and help promote him. For a while, we were going to try and go to like other Texas organizations and have the 3 of us, 4 of us go to a show, do a podcast from there, talk about what's going on at the. We did it for Reed at Paradigm.
Yeah.
that's
Like
cool.
we want to see other places succeed because the path should be, if you are a smart promoter in Texas or really anywhere in the United States, you would want your small regional promoters, you'd want your fighters to get to Fury.
Yeah.
Because then they can go from Fury to the UFC.
And also, like Texas has some really talented
We'd
people.
we'd love to work. We'll work with anybody.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to work against you. I don't have time for that.
No.
Sorry, I feel like I took us off on a tangent.
No.
This is the show. This is
This is
just
what we do.
The show. Hey, speaking, we had Submission Hunter Pro 87 this weekend. What'd you think?
I'm not gonna lie, I was super looking forward to Mia's match. That was like the one that I was most looking forward to.
She was the opener.
Yeah.
Mia Gra. I
Yeah, on the
love
main card,
how
yeah.
she is like developed as a fighter, not just in like obviously jiu-jitsu, but in MMA, but specifically jiu-jitsu. That was really cool. That
I
made
was-
me very
I was
happy.
I didn't
Really?
think she was gonna pull off a leg lock.
I was surprised.
Leg lock to leg
She just
locker.
looked hungry. The second she walked out, I was like, oh, she's got this.
I
She
was
looked
surprised by her patience. Like she dealt with the leg lock attempts like very, very well. She was very patient. She never like over panicked and over committed to really trying to escape and run away. She did a great job of staying focused, and that knee bar was beautiful.
She's gonna be successful because she's a different breed. Like when you see people who've been dragged into the deep end and they can remain completely calm, those are the people you should be scared of. I saw her walk out and I just knew. I was like, oh, she's gonna win.
We
And
ta- we
Super
talked about how
patient,
that
like, for her age, she's
Yeah.
like so mature for her age too.
that loss that she took against Kara Greenwell in the cage did something to her.
I think it lit a fire. and I
Yeah,
love
because
it.
for her to come out like that in grappling, wait till she fights in December, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
when it's December, right?
Yeah,
She's
12-3.
great. I'm a fan. I'm definitely a fan.
She's fun. The card had some awesome matches on it. I really was entertained by watching Alex Black and Jake Heffernan come out. I love seeing the MMA fighters turn grapplers, which
Yeah.
is it's funny because you get to the end of your career in fighting and you're like, I guess I'll take up this other sport now.
I feel
I'm
like
just gonna-
there were only like 3 decisions, maybe, or 3 refs decisions on the main
on
card.
the main card. I think there was 3. There was
There's Lynette.
Hope Holmes, and Lynette. There was
Ricardo and
Ricardo
Bastos.
I feel like didn't reflect how good that match was. I actually feel like Hope Holmes and Lynette had a really good match.
People,
like a really great match.
yeah, but some people that don't know that game don't realize what's
Yeah.
really going on. and
Gi
they-
is especially is really hard to come across entertaining if you don't know what you're watching.
No, I agree. I think if you're not knowledgeable about it, it's not super fun. But I think this is a part of why, I've seen the whole make the gi great again. Like, we're not all going to be Marigali, but even if I watch like the fighters from AOJ, they're so precise, and
Yeah.
so like I can see the little things that they're doing, and they're so precise, and they're great at what they're doing, and it's like. If you love the gi, you see the intricacies and you enjoy
Right.
it because you're like a nerd. But if you don't, I'm not gonna lie, it isn't super successful.
Well,
Have we
for
had
people who
any
don't.
gi matches on Fight Pass Invitational? There's been none.
None yet.
None yet, but they want-
Well, maybe you need some
December.
judokas on there because that probably would be what would make it interesting.
The December once the invitational is fully released for December, like
Or some like super heavy old female black belts. That might be a great idea.
you know what's funny as well too. Like you watch the Damian Arande and Michael Escobar, which was our other decision.
Oh, that's right.
So that was a no-gi match.
That was Austin.
Austin.
I'm sorry. Austin.
That was a
Austin
good
and
match.
That was a
good match.
no-gi
Austin's
match.
a stud.
That unless you really knew what you were watching, could be kind of boring because it's Michael Esquivel threatening from bottom with leg attacks.
And I'm sitting here like, wow, what a cool transition. Oh, that's so awesome. You got,
Yeah, I'm watching Austin roll out like so smart, man. He rolls all the way out because he knows that's going to break the submission. Super smart.
The reality is jiu-jitsu is kind of niche in the same way.
Yeah.
Not as niche as Muay Thai, though. I think Muay Thai is very, very niche. I think like
clearly by the promotions that rise and fail when it comes to kickboxing and
but
Muay
it's
Thai.
the people actually that make a big difference. So whether you love Gordon Ryan, whether you hate Gordon Ryan, he's kind of sold people a little bit more on that, and he is doing no-gi, but it's like, if you don't have an attachment to it already, if you're not training, like why? Like I want to ask people, why do we want to watch you? Like what is that?
Yeah, and to be fair, it's way easier to train jiu-jitsu than it is Muay Thai. Like your body's not as beat.
I don't agree with that actually. I think that
I would think that
I think it's harder.
striking and
so?
boxing
Here's
is
why I
going to
think-
be easier.
Here's why I think it's harder. I think it's harder because I think jiu-jitsu, you're going to have to spend more time getting dragged through the deep end to be good at it.
Right. Sure.
Because,
100%.
and I think people forget about that. How many people quit jiu-jitsu before they ever get to blue belt? How many people quit before black belt? Like Muay Thai is like, I'm not saying it's not special. It very much is. Like if you're a pussy, like you're not going to want to do it. If you don't want to get hit in the face, you're not going to want to do it. But at a certain point, it's like, okay, I've leveled up. This is where I am. Jiu-jitsu, Possibilities are endless.
I think if you were
like,
to talk to people like, recipes crew Pong's not here any longer, but like
For sure.
Michael Altman and some of the kickboxing coaches that's been around a long time,
Mm-hmm.
you would see that the percentages of people who quit Muay Thai and kickboxing are just as high. if not
Absolutely,
higher.
but I'd like to see the amount of people who start training Muay Thai to begin with compared to the people who start training.
it's
Because
super small.
jiu-jitsu, if you tell people like it's low impact, right? So when I say it's harder, I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people that are like,
Slow
"Oh,
impact
it's
to your
not."
ankle shredded.
Yeah,
It's low
right.
impact, all of us grab our
Right.
neck. Ugh.
But when you say that, like people are going to go, "Oh, I can't." I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to be pissed off
Batman.
about this. Actually, oh no, Muay Thai is way harder. I don't mean it in the
How's
sense
your
that
neck
like Muay Thai is
fusion?
not gritty, that people don't
Right.
get hurt. It very much is. But there's so many different levels to jiu-jitsu.
Right.
There's gi, there's no gi, there's different components of it. Like it's jiu-jitsu's, if you're like invested for life, this shit is hard. It's hard.
I think I can appreciate both sides. Coming from like I started wrestling at 9, so like coming through wrestling, it was easier for me to transition over to jiu-jitsu and that feeling than it was to take striking classes so I could definitely see where to be good at either one of them,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to not be a pussy.
Yeah.
Like,
To
you're
the-
gonna have to
yeah.
to be okay with.
Don't
like,
we have a shirt that says that?
Don't be a pushy.
Yeah.
Don't be pushy.
Don't be a
To me,
pushy.
though, it's apples and oranges because I shouldn't even say that because
Why can't fruit be compared?
it's going to depend on the person, right? Because Muay Thai for me, I think it's incredibly difficult. I remember going to Thailand with one of my friends who was training out there. I had zero experience. They thought I had experience. Why the fuck did you let me hold pads on the first day? I got kicked in the head. I literally saw stars. I thought that was something that only happened on Looney Tunes. That's when I realized I'm not about this life. I can slap a bitch at the bar. I have no interest in being in a cage. I'm going to do jujitsu.
So like with y'all having the new gym, y'all have no interest in starting an MMA program?
We're actually going to be starting a striking program. I don't want to talk too much about that.
MMA will
but,
be right behind it because they've got some teenagers there who are like, we want to be in the UFC.
They want to fight.
Yeah, that is something that we are doing. But that's something we're saving for the new location because we
y'all
just
have
don't
Cody
have the
Owens
space.
over there who can definitely help with that.
Yeah, that might be the
Texas
person who's
homie.
helping with that.
The
But
Texas
yeah, that's
homie.
something that we want to develop just because I want
Trying
to give
pull the
people
curtain back. I wanna make the
opportunities.
announcement for you.
Thanks for making the announcement. No, we want to give people opportunities, and I want people to like find what they're passionate about, or what keeps them coming back, or what keeps them from getting in trouble, whatever it is, like whatever your reason to show up to the gym is. So.
I'm digging it. Like I'm glad we just broke news here on air. I hope Cody knows. So,
Yeah.
No, he does. He mentioned it to me. He did mention
I'm like
it.
reading between the lines and everything. I'm sure he knows.
Mike is like texting me like, "Why are you saying that?" No,
Hey,
I'm kidding.
I know you guys have gone through a lot of, I guess, red tape with the new gym, getting it open. Everything was supposed to happen in July. Here we are.
July 1st, we were supposed to be
Yeah.
in. Today
Well,
is.
let's talk about the journey.
Yeah, I'm getting to that. We started. Ashton started training. My son started training with you guys whenever it was like a single car garage gym back in the day.
Melissa's gym?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
back
right.
in the day.
On Spring Cypress?
Yeah, over there. And it's expanded. Y'all are on, I think, your third or fourth location now.
Third.
And then we're
Third,
going
about to be
into
fourth.
this huge new megaplex. What's the trajectory for that?
Like when?
Is there
That's great. If
is there
anybody-
a tentative date?
Hey, really quick, if anybody works for the Harris County Permit Office, reach out to me, please. Let me know.
Such a
No.
pain in the ass, right?
It's
now.
not
Don't
our-
get me started
yeah.
on government
HOAs.
permits.
No, you know what? It's not our building. Our building is built out. It's actually perfect. What we're running into is the issues with like I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. Like
You can say whatever you want. They're not listening.
sewage. So one thing they look at is the area outside of the building, right? Like sewage. Like, is it ADA disability compliant? Is it? They moved something a fourth of an inch and had to redraw basically everything on there, and it has to go through like approval. It's been like, I'm not gonna lie, it's been an absolute nightmare. It's been the biggest source of stress. Everybody's like, oh my God, you've lost weight. You look great. That's why I've lost weight. I'm incredibly stressed. I'm so stressed. I haven't even been sleeping. I'm here drinking Howlerhead. This is why I'm here. But anyway,
As you should be.
we're gonna get there. I know that we're gonna get there, but it is frustrating because Mike and I were like, we're so excited about it. Like, I remember where we started, and like I remember talking to him about this dream of having this building that we felt like finally fit the quality of what our jiu-jitsu is like. And like, we're not rich people. Neither one of us came from money. Neither one of us came from means. We worked our ass off to be here. And I'm going to say, for the most part, Mike worked his ass off to be here. We saved every bit of money and ourselves that we have, we poured into that new building. And so to not be able to move into it yet is super frustrating. To like be delayed again and not be able to have growth is frustrating. But I also know that like everything happens for a reason. I'm going to go ahead and go with that. And it's just like, we're just ready to be in there already.
Will
It's
y'all
been
move
super
in before the
frustrating.
end of the year, you think?
I sure hope so. I don't want to say that because I thought there was a point in July where I was like, we're going to move in August. And then in August, I thought we're going to move in September. And in September, I thought we're going to move in October. And now we're halfway through October. So
And then the holidays are about to hit.
I'm hoping
It's
before
like-
January. Like the nice thing about our gym is that we have people that are really supportive. We're at a point where like every other day people have stopped sending me messages asking me when we're going to move because I think they realize that I'm really frustrated. But they keep saying, hey, when you need anything, let me know. I will drop everything to like come and help you guys move stuff. And I'm grateful for that. We have a good community of people around us. And while it has been frustrating to kind of like delay, and it's probably been good for the other people around us, I can't wait to get in that building. Like,
That's one thing you said, like the community. That's something that these schools build that is so cool. And I think that I know for us, when we're talking to like prospective parents who are coming in and we're talking about, listen, your kid's going to build a family here.
Yeah.
And the longer you stay here, the more you're going to be a part of this family. And that's so cool to hear you guys talk about this community you've built, because it literally started with no community.
Yeah.
And now you guys have built and fostered this, and that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very cool.
It's pretty cool.
It's cool to see Mike, because Mike came into Submission Hunter too, like at the beginning of probably the first year of Submission Hunter.
Yeah.
And he was traveling everywhere with me, like.
Yep.
You can take him back. You can take him back.
Dude,
You've had him home enough now.
He's all right. We like him.
She says that now. She'd miss those elbows.
There was months where we would do like Biloxi, Mississippi, Chicago, Atlanta, and there's Mike in the passenger seat. And then it even got to the point, like, people don't know, like, he would be driving the truck pulling the trailer while I was asleep, and then we would switch places, and I would be. But for him, he was like, man, this is just more flexible for me, and I love jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And
See,
he knew.
this is back when Eric actually liked Submission Hunter. Now
The more successful you get, the more problems you have.
Now we're like, all shows are in Houston, and we'll go to Killeen. That's it, boys.
What people don't understand is, like, our schedule has gotten so much more tight because of Fury.
Yeah.
That we have to move around so much for the MMA stuff.
And that was always the
It's
plan,
hard.
always the dream.
What
was to
people-
get Fury to this point.
Yeah.
What people don't understand as well is that Eric is very much involved in his promotion to the point where he
What?
might have trouble relinquishing some things and letting people do stuff. But this kind of speaks to the quality of it as well, because you don't see most people at that level who feel that way about it, and he still does. And I think that's pretty important. I'm glad that Mike was with you pretty early on. I remember talking to somebody and they're like, doesn't it bother you that like Mike's gone every weekend and he's doing that? I'm like, no, he could be doing some bullshit. I'm glad he's doing something he cares about. And I think that made it, I actually think that made our relationship better. Also, I got to like starfish in the bed by myself and watch like Outlander and shit.
honestly,
So
like,
And screw the people who ask questions like that too, by the way. You know,
all
it's
the
like,
time,
come
all
on,
the time.
really?
I think people need some sort of drama in relationships. We don't have much of it. He does annoying shit. He throws his underwear next to the basket. That fucking pisses me off. The basket's
He wears
right,
underwear?
right. The basket's right there. Throw that shit in there. Other
What's
than
a
that,
basket?
man, I love this man.
What
He's
is the
great.
basket for?
we had so much
It's
fun
just
on
that
some of those
thing
trips,
that's
though,
next
man.
where you throw
Yeah.
your underwear on the floor.
Right? Yeah, apparently no one in your gender knows what it is, so that's where the laundry
I thought
goes.
that's where my wife just stores random clothes.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know how
You mix your clean clothes with your.
just whatever. It goes
This
on the
fucking
ground.
guy.
Just
I
pull
can't.
out whatever.
Yeah, I throw it down there. To be fair, though, for a while, my wife made me like wash. I'm not allowed to wash her clothes because I'll just go in blindly and just dump everything in,
We have the laundry separation.
Actually, that's me. To be fair, that's me as well.
Towels, I don't give a shit. It's all going in there.
I'm not gonna act like I'm the one who's good at that. I dump everything in that shit, and I'm like, we're just gonna get it clean.
I fold my shit a certain way. I wash my shit a certain way. We have a laundry division at our house too.
But I don't wear white clothes, to be fair.
You're racist. Our first year of being married, like she would come in the room, she'd be like, "This shirt used to fit me," and on my side, I'm like, "Well, don't eat as much. What do you want me to tell you?" You know? And she's like, "You put it in the dryer." I'm like, "Okay." Or
this is rich, by the way.
I'm bad for leaving stuff in the dryer too long.
Oh, I broke it.
Wow.
Look at that.
No, that's all right.
I'm
so
a
strong.
super heavy,
Howard
so.
just sent us
Hey,
another bottle.
Wayne will drink the rest of it. You don't have to close it.
Yeah,
okay.
Oh, did you just jam that back in there?
Oh,
How are we
shit.
supposed to get it out?
Jiu-jitsu grips, man. I
See
don't know
that?
if you've got them.
It's like grabbing a gi right there.
See, that's why we have a no-gi school. We don't really.
We
I
gotta
do
have
love
jiu-jitsu
no-gi,
knuckles
though.
to open this bottle now.
Do you have a preference for yourself, gi or no-gi? Because I only ever see you rocking your gi.
You know what? That's because super heavy women don't want to be in no-gi gear. I'm convinced that's what it is. Every time I've signed up for a tournament, I've never had anybody for no-gi. If I'm being totally honest, I actually prefer no-gi only because it's easier.
Yeah,
like
I saw your vacation pictures. Yeah, you have no problem taking off the gi.
Jesus.
I asked Mike too. I was like, man, can I?
Is it okay?
I was like, this is Cairo's mom on the internet. Can I have my booty out here? Mike was like, you got your own business. You don't work for the school. You can have your booty out. And I'm
Mike's
like,
like,
thanks.
I got my booty out. What y'all
Right,
wearing?
it's true. I thought about, it's so funny. I went back the other day and I was like, I think I should take this picture down, and I removed it. I was like,
when the alcohol wears off, I was like, oh damn, I posted.
I
that.
was sober in
Oh.
that picture. I just
okay,
wanted people to know Mama still got it.
I was trying to give you an out, but indeed, Mama does still got it.
I like no-gi. I love no-gi. I actually find it easier because despite being big, I'm pretty athletic. I think the gi.
You played rugby.
Yeah, the gi slows me down a little bit. I think the reason I like gi so much, though, is because I'm not as good at it. Like, there's so much to keep learning. So
Right.
I wish I could do no-gi. I would actually love to do a no-gi match.
I know Mike has done a number of Submission Hunter events for us. You've never competed for Submission Hunter, have
Nope.
you? So when are we going to see you on the stage?
When you can find somebody who's
Ooh,
who's a
shots
super heavy.
fired.
And the
Shots
absolute.
fired.
Well, to be fair, I did tell you at Purple Belt, I said I'll do it when I'm a black belt. So now I feel like I probably have to do
Yeah.
one.
We're
You
going
have
to find
to.
somebody now.
Yeah.
We got to get a
find somebody.
call
We're on
out
a
video.
mission.
We're going to make a Maggie Torres
Yeah.
call out video.
I don't really have any rivalries. I pretty much like everybody that I've ever
I
competed
only know
against.
like Randy Miller, the wrestler. She would probably come back and do one.
I think we're probably pretty different weights, but
I don't know what either.
so let's
I'm
make that
not-
one not a
listen,
no-gi match.
I'm not guessing anyone's
Where
weight
did she
here.
used to train? With Drew?
War.
War.
Trained at War.
She's so good, so good.
Dude, she's amazing. Did you see her video the other day? She's pulling a fire truck or some shit.
I love that shit though. I love strong women. That's my jam.
Pulling a fire truck.
Yeah.
Hey, what
Just
about,
being strong.
What about Madison Gwen? She just came back from like sumo
They're
wrestling.
not the same.
We're very different weights. So for the record,
She just came
I
back
am
from sumo
a-
wrestling. That's not a
like
problem
I'm gonna
for
put
her.
this out here. I'm 185 pounds. There are probably a lot of people who are not comfortable saying their weight. I am not one of them. I'm 185 pounds. That's super heavy
You
division.
have said ultra heavy 4 times. Yeah. Here. I don't think you have any concerns with other people think.
But anything above 175, and this is my frustration too. Anything above 175 is super heavy for women.
Which brings a question to me that I'd like maybe your opinion and thought on. So why is it okay to say that Lizzo is beautiful, right? Mm-hmm. But you can't tell a woman she looks like Lizzo.
I've never heard that actually.
That was a joke I heard yesterday. I died laughing.
I mean, shit, she is
this
pretty.
lady got on the ledge. She goes, "This man said I look like Lizzo." I'm like, well, he said,
I don't think that's a bad thing.
he
You could
said
do worse.
You're beautiful.
Lizzo has a stylist. Lizzo has people working with her. You could look worse.
Lizzo, I don't know what to think about her sometimes. Sometimes I see her and I'm like,
what?
girl, you have the most, like, you don't give a shit
I love
attitude
that.
of anybody
If
on
you
the
tell
planet,
a
which I
woman
respect.
she looks like Lizzo, you might get slapped.
You know what though? It
It's like
depends
50-50
on
chance.
it depends
It's
on
like
what
the
woman you
confidence of the
tell.
woman.
Because if you told me that Lizzo reminds, like, you're like, oh, you remind me of Lizzo, I wouldn't be upset at all because she's got confidence, and I love that though.
Rich, I appreciate
I don't
where you're
know.
trying to go with that. I was trying to back that.
I
but
thought it was a
we're-
great joke.
we're
I
just-
No, I get what you're saying though. Actually,
love
I know
that
it was a
joke.
joke and then I ruined it by like
Yeah.
overanalyzing. I love to do that shit.
I don't
Like, but
Awkward,
Yeah.
awkward front desk lady.
Maybe,
Yeah.
Here she is.
maybe you haven't met my wife. This is my life. This is y'all wonder why I say inappropriate stuff.
Now
all
I
the
need
time
to-
Strong
here?
woman
This is
shitting
the
on Rich's
only-
joke.
Yeah, this is
that's what it. What it
Everyday
I was-
life.
She'd be like, you shouldn't say that. I'm like, Okay.
But
Maybe you said it because of this. I'm like, thank you for using your psychology degree on me once again.
But speaking of ultra heavies,
Maybe you
if you
feel
guys
inadequate.
do a women's thing, it does need to be an absolute division, because when you give these weight limits, they're like 400 pounds. That automatically means that there's no heavyweights that can be on the team, and those are usually the people that want to fight. So
But how do we get everyone? So listen,
Big cash
you're
prize,
not-
women's absolute.
You're not. We tried that.
Well, we didn't do an absolute, though. I actually think that would make a difference. The part of the problem was there's so many politics in jiu-jitsu, and there's even more in women's jiu-jitsu. So I think what we were running into with that was, one, it was the same weekend as Nogi Worlds, or not Nogi Worlds, ADCC. That's what it was. It was the same weekend as
Yeah,
ADCC,
you're right, you're
which
right.
was always going to be a problem because we were talking about doing Nogi, right? So I think if it falls actually in maybe Nogi season, but not during like ADCC or Nogi Worlds, which I think is December 7th.
December 15th.
I think it's 7th this year,
Is it?
right? 7th through the 9th.
They're not a paid sponsor. It doesn't matter when it is.
Yeah.
December 16th for their
An absolute
trials.
division, women will do it, but I think you're probably going to get people from outside of Texas as well. And I know that that's like the priority is to get Texas fighters in there, but we've got a lot of really good people around
Yeah.
Texas as well.
Well, now that we're on Fight Pass and stuff, and there's a little
yeah.
bit more of a budget that we can bring in.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you
females
ever
or
decide that you
whoever.
just need somebody
We're
to
not-
coordinate
we're not
female
opposed to it.
matches,
You're the
man,
one.
I'm a nerd and I'm
Like,
super happy to do that.
Again,
Yes.
this
Well, we saw
isn't-
that
This isn't something.
Submission Hunter.
I think, as you saw our responses, like we're not. I would love to.
Yeah.
We've thought about it and tried it. I would love to do another like all women's.
Got to
Absolute.
brainstorm a little bit
Yeah.
about how to make that happen. But I think, like for women, the reality is we keep asking for more matches, so we have to start showing up. Like
Oh,
you
I
just
thought
got to
that was
start
it.
showing up and being present. Like I used to not register for divisions because I'd go, oh, there's nobody in the division. And I thought about it. I was like, well, what if somebody's waiting for me to register for that division? So then I would just
Yeah.
start registering.
Who's the
because-
girl from Oklahoma that was a brown belt for the longest, and then is she still brown belt? I can't remember her name. She was
What's
a
she-
heavier
Boys from Oklahoma.
What'd she
roll
look
the
like?
joints all
black
around.
chick.
Tiara.
Tiara.
I love Tiara.
Is she a black? Is
Tiara
she a black
Lewis?
belt?
I don't think so. Not yet.
I don't think
Not
she's a black belt yet.
What about the one from Ohana, Danielle? Has she gotten her black belt?
The blonde.
How about
Guevara?
that?
Not Guevara. What is
Danielle Walker?
Walker. Yeah,
She's
yeah.
awesome.
What does she weigh?
I think she's a heavyweight for sure.
So could you and her go?
Yeah, I'm sure we could.
There you go.
Maggie's
Just
like,
made a
I ain't
match.
scared of nobody. You
I
bring
mean,
them
yeah,
all.
I'll take
I
a
mean,
match.
she rolls
I would
with Mike.
honestly, I'm not
Would
gonna
you be
lie. I
scared
would
of
love to have a
anybody?
match at
No.
some point.
She
about-
rolls
It'd be
with
nice.
Mike.
What
Would
about
you be
Rich in a
scared?
wig? Would you roll with Rich in a wig?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll wear a fucking wig.
But
We'd have to glue it on because it'll probably fall
This
off.
motherfucker.
Rochelle Burmaster.
Hey, we'd have to.
Rochelle Burmaster
We'd
coming
have to
out.
glue
I'm
it
done
on.
with you.
Y'all know I'm coming out to some Lizzo. So
There will be. We'll have another women's card. It will happen. But I do think maybe an absolute might be the way to go.
Do we have time to make an all women's card before the year ends?
Man,
not with ADCC in Austin in December.
but you pay
ADCC's
your
got
competitors.
Austin. Isn't that the last trial of 2024?
Does ADCC
No,
do-
2023.
do they
I think
pay?
the last trial is in
Of
December.
20, yeah, I think so.
Let me make sure.
What's the date?
I'm pretty sure it's December 16th.
Yeah, I was trying to drag you into the
Well, I'm not gonna be
into
here
that
at
into the
16,
pool. I know
but-
you like to talk about that. How people prefer to go pay to compete.
I guess it just depends. I guess it just depends on.
potentially earning a commission and a
Somebody
win
asked
bonus.
me about that the other day. They're like, why do you do that? And I think for some of us, like, I think I was one of those people, and you and I had this conversation because you were like, well, why haven't you competed for us? I actually, up until probably like brown belt, I just did not think I had very exciting jiu-jitsu. I literally competed because I hated competing, and I felt like I needed to do something that I didn't like, and now I actually love competing, so it's a little bit different. I think that's how a lot of people feel, that they're like, why would anybody want to watch my jiu-jitsu?
Well, what is your take on like tournaments? Like, there's a lot of local tournaments that don't get a lot of competitors sign up yet.
I would
IBJJF
say
shows up and-
perhaps those tournaments should reflect on the quality of their reffing, and I would say those tournaments should reflect on who they're hiring as well. Like,
But
I
what do
think
what do you do when you have the exact same refs who ref in that as we have had on our stages before, and people still choose to do an IBJJF? And
oh
pay?
well, some of that has to do with rankings, honestly, because
Okay.
a lot of people care about their rankings, and I understand that. Like, some of it has to do with just that, like, there's a lot of anxiety about. Like, when you're on a stage, people are watching you. If you're in a tournament, there's a chance that there's a million other people who don't give a
Right.
shit about my Master
talking
2
about
brown
just-
belt ultra heavy
Have you-
match.
have you ever-
Just
have
tournament
you ever-
versus tournament, though. Like, let's say you got grappling games and what's something else? Rick Menard's TGC.
Okay, for like World League.
Naga, World League,
people
whatever.
people have their preference. I think, without trying to be super controversial, I think there's a few teams in Houston who make it not fun to compete, if I'm being honest, because they
Okay.
seem to sort of have the refs in their pocket,
That's the problem.
and
right
that's
there.
not fun. and it. I think everybody knows who I'm talking about without me even saying anything. I'm trying to get right with the Lord, so I'm not going to say that. But for example, like in IBJJF, right? If a kid, if somebody throws up on the mat, you're disqualified. I've seen a particular team where this kid vomited in the middle of the mat. Was supposed to get disqualified. The ref said disqualification. Then their coach came over and said, no, he's good to fight. And then they're Brazilian. And then he came over and fought and then ended up winning the division. Like, nobody wants to compete for something when the rules don't apply to everybody. It's not. It 100%. Sucks. It's not fun. It isn't fair. It sucks when I have to tell and I've only run into this recently because I've started working with kids and I wasn't coaching kids before because I'm kind of mean. Apparently that's what Mike says. But
hey, you coached Ashton.
I love Ashton.
And
Ashton's great, and he's not a whiny crybaby, so we're good.
Exactly.
But like, it's not fun to have to tell kids, like, I don't get why I lost that, and you don't want to be that person that's like, well, you lost because the ref was bad, because you're trying to teach kids like sportsmanship and stuff like that.
The truth, right?
And it's not fun. You don't want to do that. So I think sometimes it feels like there's preference for particular teams, and I think everybody knows who I'm talking about, and there is, and it just sucks.
I don't understand.
Wayne doesn't know who.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I understand
I'm asking
the value.
for everybody who wants to know.
I understand the value for schools. I understand the value of ADCC. I do understand the value of that. There's some money into that can be won.
Yeah.
If you're one of like 8 people on the planet,
You're
gonna win some money.
Yeah.
But
Mickey Rod.
for the people who put IBJJF on such a pedestal and actually care about like their rankings, I don't understand it, because I can tell you now, have you ever gained one student because of what you did at Worlds? I haven't. We have never gained anybody.
I think quite a few people have, but I think it depends on your performance. I think for me personally, it's more of a personal thing. Actually, like we were talking about this the other day. The reason I always do IBJJF is it's the only tournament where I have people.
She went out.
Yeah, her mic went out.
She just turned her microphone off.
Try it again.
Sorry, y'all.
It sounds like you're back.
Yeah, you're back.
It's the only tournament where I have people in my weight class, so I can't speak as a smaller competitor. Like, I think the smallest I've ever been, and this is when I had an ulcer, was at 142 pounds, and I was in South Korea, so it didn't really matter. Everybody was small there, so I can't speak for other people, but I think there's something about this, like, this elusive, like, not even elusive, like, IBJJF is, whether you love them, whether you hate them, they have set sort of the standard for jiu-jitsu tournaments. Like, the history of like all of jiu-jitsu is in those IBJJF mats. Like, there's so much history there, and I think people want to be a part of that. And then you see like, and I understand it, because there's just a feeling like when you walk into Worlds, even if it's Master Worlds, like let's talk about old people Worlds, like you walk in there and there's this feeling, it's electric. Like, there's nothing that feels like that. Like, I can compare that to like, there's like, this is gonna sound really bad, and people are, there are 2 moments in my life that are like massive and that I'm going to think of, and they probably mean nothing to anybody else. One of them is giving birth to Cairo, and the other one is winning Master Worlds and looking up at those lights and being like, oh shit, I'm in here and I did it. And it didn't matter to anybody else. It's just a personal thing. So I think it's more that.
Do you see a time where you could win, say, like a Fight Pass Invitational in front of millions of people, and that have more value to you personally than winning a Masters?
For me personally, yes. I don't think everybody feels that way. I think we're going to start to realize no gi is the future. I'm not saying gi is dead. I do think that maybe if we're going to introduce, I actually don't think it is. I think what it needs though, similar to boxing, what it needs is some rule changes. What it needs is more aggressive reffing, more consistent requirements and rules and things like that. That's what it needs. Oh, sorry. But you see what I mean? That too. Like there are some great like gi matches. Unfortunately, they happen in the women's division and they don't get a lot of attention.
Right.
They don't.
Gabriela Pisania, do you know who she is? She's one of the most exciting athletes on the planet, but we're not talking about her.
Well, to be fair, again, I think
she ever win a dunk contest?
The average viewer,
she could win a dunk contest. She's real tall.
The average viewer just doesn't care about gi.
They don't. I don't disagree with that.
They tune in now, especially because of Gordon Ryan.
Yeah.
You got the Gary Tonans.
Again, it's niche.
How
does jiu-jitsu not become niche? It has to become mainstream. Like, even if you look at like Cobra Kai and stuff, there was a point where karate like ruled the world. Like, people were walking into like theaters in New York City like dressed as Shonuff. Like,
that was the cheesy part of the 80s.
It was, but why can't that be the cheesy part of the 2020s? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think
because there's no impact. There's no striking.
It matters to the people that are in it, but the reality of that is, as the sport grows bigger, there's more people in it, so there's more spectators that care.
More personalities.
Strikes.
You need more.
And that's exactly what Gordon's doing.
You need more you. You need more, like, if there's going to be a woman to lead the charge of actually, like, making women's grappling entertaining, there has to be a woman who can talk, who can present herself well.
I think there's a lot of them.
I don't see them. What are they doing? Helen Guevara doesn't say shit. Helena, whatever, however.
I don't. But you know what? Her jujitsu kind of speaks for itself, though.
It does.
But you know what? When women do say shit, they get Ronda Rousey'd. That's what happens.
But you need that.
I don't disagree with that. I think you and I agree here, but she's hated, man, and she doesn't even deserve to be hated. Like,
who is Ronda?
Ronda Rousey.
She could back up everything she was saying, and she was still
when
hated.
When you talk
like,
about the biggest stars in combat sports, you have to love them or hate them. It's the same as wrestling.
Yeah.
We talk about you have to love them or hate them. You hate.
Got to be
Ronda Rousey,
divisive.
You hate Ronda Rousey. You'll buy a ticket to watch her lose.
Get her ass kicked.
And that's what's hard for me because I don't ever want to be a divisive person. Like, I think talking shit
Since
works.
when do you care about that?
Well, it's not.
You don't care.
It's
about
just
that.
not. It's not who I am. Now
Yeah.
I stand up for things that I believe in 100%, and I believe in women's
Do you
jujitsu.
believe in women's jiu-jitsu? There you go.
1,000%.
Boom.
But I also don't believe in it so much that I'm going to talk shit to other women to get there. And I think that's sort of why, like, you don't have to have a polarizing viewpoint, but let's be real. That's why people are interested in Gordon Ryan.
100%.
I don't even like Gordon Ryan. I don't even like Gordon Ryan, but I'm looking at what he's doing every day. So even I know, as an undercover hater, like, he's actually been really important to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But-
It's funny when you look at.
And actually,
like,
I can't even say I'm a hater because I love his jiu-jitsu.
his,
grappling, I should say.
Stupid.
And man, if he
it-
ever
so
gets
you
the
brought you
gi,
around.
Jesus.
He makes
Oh, for
it
sure.
look so easy.
You could be
which
that
is
catalyst
the
for women's
frustrating
jiu-jitsu.
thing.
Hard work and steroids.
Hey, listen, I would tell you, just like I said, everybody, when they hate on Barry Bonds or Roger Clemens, they hit all those home runs and struck out all those people against other people on steroids.
Boom.
Right.
Gordon Ryan is submitting other dudes. You tell me
Some.
Galvao was not on
Oh,
steroids?
no, 1,000%.
He's on all of them.
I don't disagree with it. It sucks for clean competitors, but I mean, at a certain point, we're like,
I can think
who's
of-
going to be clean?
I can really only think of one good clean competitor.
Mikey
Who?
Musumeci?
I don't believe he's clean.
Mikey
Not-
Musumeci's
not-
100%
I
clean.
don't believe it.
He's passed every
not
single one.
based off of his diet. He passed the test that he knows he's taking.
You really don't think Mikey Musumeci's clean?
Not clean
Let
at
me
all.
see him.
Not clean at all.
These
Pull 'em up.
opinions.
Well,
were
to be
like
fair,
Rich
the
Burmaster's
Meow
opinion
Brothers
only,
popped
not
hot when they were
necessarily those of
small.
Fury
Thank-
FC or Submission Hunter
They
Pro.
were
Thank you.
small and they pop hot, but I don't think Mikey is. But I think most of the women are not on. Well, most of the American women are not on steroids. Hold on, I'm going to show you. Mikey Musumeci, this guy.
He's not on steroids.
I don't
You think
think-
this guy's on steroids?
No,
Nah,
dude,
not at all.
come on. He's not a.
Not at all.
Can people
Okay,
see
wait a minute,
this?
wait a
Like,
minute.
he's not.
He's not.
Okay, look at this same picture of him without a shirt on, shredded to shred
Nah, I
shitty.
mean, that's,
He eats
that's,
once a day,
looks
and he
fine.
trains for like
Pizza.
10 hours.
He
Pizza
eats
and pasta.
pizza and
But
pasta
he
all
trains
day.
10 hours. He's like 20 something.
He's fine.
Dude,
I don't think
look,
so. I don't think
you're-
so.
Hey,
What are you
man,
telling me?
I'll
I just
give
spit
you.
all
He's
over you.
shredded,
Like,
but he's okay.
look at this dude.
How old is he? Like
I eat
21,
pizza
22?
and,
But-
I eat pizza and pasta once
But
a
to
day.
be fair, there are some just
If
shredded
you
people.
saw this body on
We have
anybody
some
else.
fighters that are like that, man. That
Would
are
I
not on
believe that?
steroids.
Yes, my dad looked
First
like
of
that
all,
for
how
years.
many people-
Okay, let me tell you. Cody Steele.
Yeah, I don't think he's on steroids. I don't. Maybe
Cody's not on
maybe
steroids.
it's an unpopular opinion. I don't think he is. I think he's young and has good genetics on his side.
His last 3 fights and he has not came
I
back.
think he has good genetics on his side, and I
Wait a
think he's
minute,
young.
Wait a minute. The state doesn't test for steroids.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Shit. Do you know how many?
Cocaine.
Listen.
Cocaine.
Listen. Hey.
Oh my God!
Do you know how many guys that I've seen, and I'm not going to say any names, that have come back and
Yeah, I know. Listen.
with 5,000
Hold on though.
1,000
That being
milligrams of
said,
that.
Cody Steele also is the exception, not the rule. He's a once in a
100%.
lifetime athlete, so he doesn't even count in that. He's in a division
Shout out
of
to
his
Cody
own.
Steele.
Oh,
Gonna be
listen,
in day
I-
one
Seriously,
contender
division of his
Did
own.
you see him at day one at ADCC?
Yeah.
He's a monster,
Are
man.
you
Yeah.
shitting me?
I remember
That's his thing.
I didn't even know who he was, and then a couple years ago, I think he was at like purple belt. Mike said this guy is going to be like like
Yeah.
the biggest dude in the world, and Mike is a
Dana White is
nerd.
gonna love Cody
I was
Steele.
like, really? Mike said, but I think his avenue is going to be MMA, and then all of a sudden, I'm
All
like,
right.
geez.
So
go.
you watched him, and Nicky Ryan ran through him again.
Nicky Ryan's phenomenal
You tell
too,
me Nicky
though.
Ryan's not on steroids, but his brother is?
I didn't say that Nicky wasn't.
I think-
I didn't say
don't
Nicky
even talk
wasn't.
about Nicky.
I don't know Nicky
I
well
think-
enough.
I think there is more. But let's say
There's more than we want to
admit.
admit.
I think that there is fewer people not on it than there are on it.
Okay, I don't. You know
what
what?
about Matt Jones that just came and fought Justice Torres?
Dude, he's so shredded.
We
Bro,
used.
so shredded.
This is hard because
Well,
we're talking
you
about
guys weigh a
jujitsu or
picture?
MMA, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're just talking about. Well, I'm saying that because Rich is showing me a picture of Mikey
This is
shredded, and
this
I'm
is
like,
hard.
You can be like
I think
that
you're
without
right
it.
to say that steroids have definitely taken over jiu-jitsu, but at the same time, like keep in mind steroids are legal in Brazil,
Yeah,
and
they're
a
legal
lot
in
of
other
a lot of
places.
other places too. So like, what kind of steroids? Like, is everybody on trend now? Are they gonna all like? I don't know.
I think. Listen, and everybody is on some type of performance enhancer.
Caffeine's a performance enhancer.
Whether it's
you know what's
caffeine,
not? Marijuana. USADA unbanned that.
Whether it's
100%.
that, whether it's BCAAs you're taking, if it's your creatine.
I see what you're saying.
Like everybody's on something that's not natural.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
And so you choose then what level of non-natural you want to be.
Okay, this is true, but can we talk about, like, real quick, trenbolone?
Okay.
This has become like a drug of choice for like a lot of people, and it causes like psychosis and a lot of really bad things. A lot of the CTE issues and the spousal abuse issues we've seen in like athletes, they think that's they think that's attributed to that. So like, are there I guess there's levels, right?
Right. There is. It's like anything else. When you look at a Rich Piani who's doing the exact same steroids as a bodybuilder, that let's insert Gordon Ryan. Let's say he's doing the same steroid deck as Gordon Ryan, just at a lesser amount. So, listen, I don't care. If everybody's on steroids, cool.
But they're not. That's the problem.
I'm fine with that. If you're one of the few, like Roberto Jimenez, or your Mikey Musumeci, and you're one of the few guys who aren't on it, congratulations. You probably should maybe take.
This is a bigger problem for men, though, and this is something we're starting to see in the women's divisions. Like, obviously, everybody demonizes Gabby Garcia forever, and that's always going to be a thing.
Wow.
But like in the women's divisions, like I think that's something we're probably going to start seeing more of. But like there are women in the masters age division winning adult divisions. You don't really see that in the men's as often. You definitely don't see that as often, and that might come down to the lack of steroids in the women's division. I don't know. That could just be me. I don't know. What's the reason for that, though? Amanda Magda won Europeans. She's, 40? I don't want to lie if anybody's listening. 43, maybe? Something like that?
Did Mackenzie Dern get busted, and she's not even...
No, not Mackenzie Dern.
I mean,
No, she busted weight a couple times, but she didn't.
Well, I remember she busted weight. She busted weight for us a bunch, but I want to say she was popped at one time.
Recently?
No, not Dern. Not Dern. Can't be.
Everyone got awful quiet.
This awkward pause brought to you by Howlerhead Whiskey.
Let me see. Mackenzie Dern.
Get that monkey spirit in us while Rich and Maggie Google Mackenzie Dern.
She did not
results.
get caught for steroids.
She just said it this was actually 2013. Oh, Mackenzie Dern was rewarded for 25 consecutive not being tested, not being caught.
Oh, and you get a watch or something for that?
The big misconception, too, is that you can look at everybody and tell if they're on performance-enhancing things, and you can't necessarily. Like, there's so many things that are considered performance-enhancing.
Right, it depends on what the performance-enhancing they take. It also depends on their genetics.
People testing for performance-enhancing drugs, and, you got to be vilified if you took a performance-enhancing drug. Anybody listening, if they could take something that would make them better at their job and they get paid more money, they're probably going to try it. They're probably going to take it. I get tired of vilifying people for
I don't know. I think we need to as we become a more health conscious society, because how many of these people go on to become abusers? How many of these people have psychosis caused by this? How many of these people have early heart attack? We know multiple MMA fighters who've had heart attacks from
Schwarzenegger.
But they're able to do that. That's their choice.
I think the reality is we should just admit that we all really we love a freak show. That's the thing about America. We love a freak show. We if there was somebody telling me we're going to watch an Olympics full of people on steroids and then Olympics of people like me who don't know what the fuck they're doing, I'd watch both of them because they'd be equally as bizarre. But when you see an athlete who's working really hard and they're training for something, I empathize with them when I realize, sorry, it's unfortunate, but everybody else is on fucking steroids. You're doing everything right, but it's not right enough. I get that.
Nobody wants to see a bunch of average shows doing anything. So
actually, you don't think the Olympics would be super entertaining if they were just like, Maggie, you're going to run the 400. That'd be fun as hell.
I would think it would be cool if they didn't tell you what you were doing until right beforehand. You're all just standing there in line. They're like, Eric, hurdles. Wayne, decathlon. Maggie, high jump. Rich, 100 meter
Actually,
swim.
I want to see that. I want to see that.
That would be fun, but for the most part, you don't want to see the average person do anything.
Should we bring Michael Torres is here? Should we bring him in?
Bring him on in. That's why. Tell him to read the numbers.
He's been here before. He knows how to get in here.
He has been here before.
But going back to it's the perfect example. And this is the one that I go to all the time. Is the home run derby? Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa. Oh, I mean, people want to see the freak show.
Okay,
but then when do they find out the secret sauce?
Wait. But in baseball,
how dare they take something that helps them hit 80 home runs?
In baseball, how much capacity is there to injure another person?
You've been hit by a ball.
Okay, right, but it's not. I've never seen a headline that's like man on steroids hit someone in the face with a ball. Like,
right here.
but if you're on steroids, and this is going to be, I don't want to bring up the other issues with like women's sports and stuff. But like, if you're on steroids and you happen to like, let's say you're on trend. I'm sorry, I keep hitting on the talking about the trend bros, but I really do because I know so many people whose lives it's ruined. Like it causes psychosis, it causes all sorts of problems. If you're on trend and then you kill someone, like they're like, and I guess that probably hasn't happened a lot because we're not seeing a lot of headlines on that, are we? But
it shouldn't be a part of
hey,
combat
Mike Torres,
sports.
thank God you're here, man. We're gonna need you to calm her down.
do you want to come in?
No, he's fine.
You want some howler?
Hey, we don't have a microphone or a chair for him.
You can come sit next to me.
Let me give Mike some ice.
Bring that floppy
Hey,
hair on over
what
here,
she
buddy.
really wants is for you to dig those elbows in her thighs. She's really.
It was me
she's
digging
trying
the
to-
elbows in.
Nah.
All right, guys. As we get this set up, man, make sure you check out our sponsors: OnlyFans.com/FurryFight. Once again, that's OnlyFans.com. Sheath Underwear, Howlerhead Whiskey, Live Oak Vodka, Private Label Bags, Space City Collective. Wayne, who am I missing?
Dude, man, private label. Did you get private label?
I got
in there?
private label
Did
in
you get
there.
Aces Performance Exhaust? The most
Did we get
exhausted performance there is?
Did we get
Aces Performance
Ronnie
Exhaust?
Byerly and the crew over at Kimura Tattoos?
Kimura Tattoo Company. Hey,
Y'all killed that bottle? Y'all did half of that bottle already?
Yeah.
Anita,
That's just.
I
think it's me. I think it might be
I finally got the Instagram or not the red light treatment.
The fuck are you
Am I
talking
on
about?
OnlyFans?
Red light
Am
treatment.
I on
What is a
OnlyFans?
red light treatment?
God damn it, I'm drunk. You know what I'm trying to do? Come on, Wayne. Interrogated.
red
Got
light-
Oh, you got
interrogated
interrogated about OnlyFans?
about OnlyFans. Anita was like,
Yeah.
hey, are you on OnlyFans? I'm like,
There's a stool there too.
no, I mean outside of whatever Rich might post
Yeah.
of me or whatever.
Yeah.
So you don't have an account, you don't subscribe, you're not like following or whatever any of these. No.
We're talking about
we're,
trend.
We're finally at that point now where I'm like getting grilled about.
Hey, congratulations.
Am I looking at feet?
Congratulations.
shit on
I just
OnlyFans?
don't want to see feet. I'm not into the feet.
That's what they're known for, I guess.
Some
Nice
guys are
feet.
into that.
Some girls are into that.
Mike, you into feet?
I'm not into feet, but
Welcome
I
to the
know
show.
there's some guys out there that.
There are some girls that are into
I'm not
feet.
into feet, but I don't like ugly ones.
This sounds like a Tupac song.
Why the-
I'm
why
not
are y'all
into
looking
feet,
at
but
their
don't push
feet?
me.
Hey, man, I mean, that's just part of their body.
Listen, if my wife walks by, I know she's not listening right now. So if she walks by,
So you mean to tell me if
they
your
got
wife...
boobs, butt, and I'm gonna look at her feet? Why am I looking at her feet?
She might have really nice
Imagine
feet.
them toes be like crossed, like throwing up gang signs or something like
Let me
that.
ask
Like
you
my
one.
toes.
She got wide
Hey,
ass
that's
feet.
that's,
your
that's
wife-
jiu-jitsu toes right
If you
there.
met your wife and she had no toes, would you have dated her?
She had no toes?
Yeah.
Ooh.
She's out of there.
It would have been a while before I
How
found
is
out,
she
to be
standing? I'd be
honest.
impressed by how she's standing.
She's
Not
out
in
of there.
jiu-jitsu.
There you go. Rich likes feet.
Listen, if my wife was missing a body part, it's over.
I mean, technically, like, if that were the case, technically he'd be into
She
toes.
knows if she's in a horrible accident and she loses a limb, I'm like, listen, we had a great
God,
run.
and I'm on OnlyFans right now.
but like, this
Hey,
is,
so
this can't work.
did you see Ray Bell lost his finger?
Ray Bell lost a finger?
He lost his pinky.
Oh shit, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he had a boating accident a couple weeks ago. I seen him Friday night.
Sunday.
Friday night?
It was Sunday.
I
I
saw
saw
him-
him at Submission Hunter.
Well, we saw him at Submission Hunter, but I went to his house Friday night. He was having like a little.
Oh, we didn't
Oh,
get
so it was
invited.
his birthday.
We didn't get
What,
invited to that.
He
Sorry.
had a burial.
It was
for
his
What-
birthday.
What was this?
It was his
He
birthday,
had a
but
burial for his finger.
It's like a goldfish in the
but
backyard or something.
his finger was off,
Wait,
and
did
now
that
he's like
actually
it's like that.
So he's missing his pinky?
He's missing his pinky all the way down to the knuckle. Man, dude, and
Hey,
he's
that-
in great spirits.
That sounds like he crossed the cartel.
I mean, it
I
could
don't
be
know,
worse.
man.
That's like the least worst thing to
Yeah,
lose.
I guess if I'm gonna lose a finger, the pinky be fine to lose.
Yeah, because if you
You
lose
can
your
still
thumb,
grip.
can you grab your howler?
Nah, dude,
Yeah,
you're
I can
done.
still get my jujitsu grips.
You're
I can
done.
cross
What about
That'd
without
be,
a thumb?
that'd be a good time to figure out what it tastes like.
No
You
thumb.
need one of those like
Oh,
robo hands.
No thumb?
No thumb.
Did he find the finger?
Well,
Did the
Maggie's
finger
about
go
to
in the
pour
water?
whiskey
Okay,
down her shirt,
so
trying to prove a point.
It was just like smash. You had to take it off.
yeah, so when they got to the
Damn.
hospital, these two were mangled, and they couldn't save
From
this
what?
one.
Damn.
He was trying to tie a rope,
Oh.
tie a boat
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
and his finger got caught in it, and it just.
Oh, God.
Be careful, all you boaters out
And
there.
his wife was like, "Man, he was so calm." Shout out Ray Bell.
Hey,
I just
shout
told
out
you
jiu-jitsu.
business.
He was
Yeah,
confident
Let's
in
put your
jiu-jitsu.
business out there, Ray.
Because that's not the first time I've
Because
had this
if you
finger
were
mangled,
married
I'll
to
be all
Rich
right.
Burmaster, he would fucking leave
I
you
would.
because he just lost his
Yeah.
Now
finger.
listen. I'd have to weigh that differently because if I was married to a dude, just have another guy around the house to help me out with shit would be awesome. Like, you know how cool
So you would
that
keep
be?
Ray Bell?
I'd
There would
probably
be
let
two
Ray-
pairs of underwear next
Hey.
to the
Yeah, be
basket.
two pair of underwears, but we'd also both bring home ladies. I'm assuming if we're married, because we're not sexual together, we're just gay. We're not.
We're just gay, but we're not
I don't know if
sexual.
that's how that works.
Yeah, you tell me you can't be gay and abstinent.
You absolutely can.
All right, then, so
Wait,
we're
where did
dead.
that come from? I did not say that.
Wow. Now,
Why are you
you
against
telling me he can't be
abstinent
gay and
gays?
heterosexual?
No, what?
Maybe he identifies as such.
Maybe me and Ray Bell are in a loving relationship.
What has
He
happened
has lost
to the Fury
finger.
Unleashed
Sending love to
podcast?
Ray Bell. I don't know.
I hold Maggie Torres responsible for whatever
Oh
is
my
happening
God.
right now. This is a
Somebody's
train
gonna
wreck.
take something out of context and be like, "How
I'm clipping that part out for sure.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
gonna
And
be
all
gone.
the
Where do you
setup is
cancel?
going to be out, and they're just going to post that one clip. And we're
All the
done.
reels.
We're canceled.
All the reels. Did you go through the sub hunter card?
No, we got off on a whole
Yeah.
little tangent.
Sorry,
we
that was
tried.
me.
Bring it
We
back.
made it to Heffernan and the black guy.
And we talked
We
about
tried.
And I walked
we
in,
talked about
guys-
Hope and Lynette. We talked about
The
Mia's
whitest
match.
black guy on the card.
the whitest black guy on the card.
We kind of touched on the main event.
I didn't touch the main event. Oh, I see.
No,
I
we
see
didn't
what you're
touch the
saying.
main event at all.
I didn't understand what you were saying. Let me go back to that. We did talk about
Before
the
we
main
went
event.
live, yeah.
Yeah, so Bruno Bastos, Ricardo Evangelista in our main event. Two legends. Listen, it's you don't want to ever want to talk bad about two legends. Was it the most entertaining match? No. Is it awesome to see those two on a mat?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Battle of the Legends. That's
Yeah,
all it is.
I mean,
it's good to have those.
Look, it was great. It was really cool to see. Look, I got to see a badass sweep at the end from Evangelista on top of a fifth-degree black belt. That's pretty damn awesome, dude.
This is what we were talking about, though, when we were talking about like why jujitsu to some degree is kind of niche, because people who do it, they look at it and they're like, "Oh man, that's cool. They did this." It's like a game of inches there, and we're like, "Oh, that's exciting." But to the average person, they're like, "Okay, nothing's happening." Why
Yeah,
is this,
Just
you
like
know?
marriage, a game of inches. So, we talked about Austin Aronde and Michael Escobar. We had Damian Aronde with the awesome heel hook victory over Cameron Graves. Any people calling me, dog, in the middle of
Von Gessner.
Uh-oh, that sounded serious.
to work? Ruben
How about Damian versus Cameron Graves?
was a heel hook.
I know.
That was quick.
It didn't go very long. I don't know.
Oh man, what happened to Cameron?
He got
yeah.
Did you
hit.
just get caught?
Cameron
was he a
wanted to
short
punch
notice?
in the face, and he couldn't. So
It was about a week's notice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
news notice.
it's
And
short
I mean,
notice.
I'll be honest, like, you know,
But Cameron's
I,
one of the most active guys in the gym because he's ready for a short notice
he's-
fight.
It was supposed to be
specifically-
Diego
exactly,
Ferreira.
he specifically trains for like MMA, right? So
Yeah.
like he doesn't. He's
Right.
not. I wouldn't call him a jiu-jitsu enthusiast. He's definitely a great athlete.
Yeah.
But you know, when it comes to jiu-jitsu, when it comes to being a jiu-jitsu athlete that only does jiu-jitsu, you got to be well-rounded.
We got to think Damian is in the MMA world
Now.
now.
Right.
But
Yeah.
his foundation is IBJJF and jiu-jitsu competitions.
Yeah.
He can always fall back on that whenever he wants to. It's hard to go from being a jiu-jitsu athlete that hasn't developed a strong game or made it to black belt to go into MMA and then all of a sudden try to transition back into that jiu-jitsu world. Jiu-jitsu has evolved so much, you know? And then as it's evolving, like, if you decide to take a step back, you still have to stay at the forefront of jiu-jitsu, of the evolution of it. So you got to continue to stay fresh and
If you're
adapt
gonna
and
compete.
learn.
All right, so
have the right training partners.
So
too.
how crazy does this feel when we're talking about Cameron in kind of like not a past tense, but he's the former champion at Fury, competed in IBJJF long time ago, and he was an active competitor. We talk about Damian Aronde now being Cameron's a grizzled pro, 11-7, 18 fights. Aronde is getting ready to take his fourth
Amateur fight.
Amateur fight. And there seems to be, I even mentioned on the broadcast, I was like, this is kind of not a passing of the guard type of match, but in some ways you have this young amateur who's coming up versus this pro who's been around a long time. One's 25, one's 29.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
it's crazy.
not that
Yeah.
different.
Is Cameron 29?
Yeah.
Well, the
That's
journey,
how
the
long
journey's
you've been
definitely
fighting.
different, though.
Yes.
The journey's very different. The way that they've developed a foundation, like Cameron has a great MMA foundation. Cameron can pass your guard. He can punch you in the face and kick you in the head, right?
Right.
Damian's still developing all
Right.
of those things. He doesn't have a strong foundation there, but his foundation is sport jiu-jitsu. He's
Such
really
good
good at what he
jiu-jitsu.
does. You know, he's
Yeah.
been through the grinder.
He's
He's
amazing
been
black belt.
through he competed at the highest level of jiu-jitsu and IBJJF. You know, so can't really they're not. I wouldn't say that they're great matchups, but I also wouldn't say that Cameron, you know, given time, he can adapt very well. You know, I think he's a serious athlete enough that he would say, you know what, I'm gonna change my focus, go to sport jiu-jitsu, and I'm gonna learn these leg locks and develop a good defensive game. You know, speaks volume. Like, you can't take a guy that. How many fights does he have?
Cameron?
Yeah.
18.
18 fights, man. I've known him since he was in his teens.
Yeah.
I went to 18, 19 when I first met him, maybe. You know, and he's always been on the mat.
It's funny. I remember, as long as Cameron's been around, I still remember him as this jiu-jitsu kid who I saw. And I remember taking pictures of him at IBJJFs and the American Nationals and stuff like that. And then same thing with the Irandes. I remember them as these two long-haired, like green belt kids. Remember them? They had the long hair on the mat and they were running around. It's like, who are these two weirdos pulling guard?
I think
So
those
good.
guys have such an interesting journey, like story. If you really think about it, I don't know if you guys ever talked about it, but those two were blue belts, young blue belts, operating a gym in Odessa, right? Or Odessa? Or no, I'm not sure where that.
Who are we talking
They're
about?
in like Beaumont area.
Yeah,
Oh,
Beaumont area.
Rondes,
So
yeah.
like
Yeah.
two young teenage
Blue belts.
blue belts teaching
Right.
adults jiu-jitsu, kids jiu-jitsu, to now developing like a kind of an empire on that side of town.
Yeah.
Where they have not just one academy but two academies now.
Both of them killing it.
Those
Both schools
guys,
killing
somebody needs to highlight their story.
Amazing
how they started.
competitors.
Why
amazing
did they
Bring 'em
start
in.
out? Why did they start out as blue belt gym owners? Right.
But it's a whole family affair too, because it's their mom. It's
Right,
yeah.
exactly. And
Their sister, who's
but
amazing.
not only go from it's unheard of to see people go as young blue belt instructors to being top 10 competitors in the world in jiu-jitsu, right? That's a pretty big.
So now they're seasoned black belts with great academies, and just think about how much experience they have at that young age. They're 25 years old, but have been owning an academy and running it since
Yes.
they were blue belts.
Yeah,
Absolutely amazing.
It's amazing.
it is amazing.
We were talking about your journey earlier.
Oh yeah,
And where you're headed, man.
Yeah, you're okay.
trying.
To your fourth location.
Well, moving into our fourth.
Started out
big
in a
location,
single car garage.
We only have one location, but it's like our fourth.
I mean, your fourth
Yeah.
move. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, like to watch that has been
5 years.
fucking crazy,
It's
man.
been quite the
We
journey.
like moved every year.
So what's it like to be rich now?
I don't know yet. Not there yet. Still.
Actually, what's it like to be super poor?
Yeah, exactly. That's more like it.
Right?
It's like the more money you make, the more
Right.
bills.
People
and
don't see
problems
it
you
that
have.
way, right? Yeah.
No.
I remember
Have more expenses now than ever.
We were opening our second location, and I started getting all these like, "Hey man, congratulations, you guys are killing it." I'm like, "I'm just more in debt. What are
Yeah.
you talking about?"
I just went into twice the amount of
just-
debt I'm already in.
I'm just rolling the dice a little harder on myself
Yeah.
right now. That's all
That's
we're
the
doing.
goal.
I'm playing Monopoly
Victories.
right now.
The
That's it,
growth.
man.
Yeah. Just hoping to just keep that bank account afloat, still covering the bills and everything, but providing a very a really good establishment for all the students that, that pay to be there, pay to
How many
train.
students y'all have now?
We have over 200 members.
We have 236.
Almost
Wow.
enough. Almost enough
Only
to
the
start paying the
awkward
bills
front
at the new
desk lady
location.
would know that.
Yeah.
Almost enough to break even.
People don't understand how hard it is.
Now ask
man.
how many
Yes.
people consistently show up to training.
236
How many of you registered?
and a half. We got a
Yeah.
prospect coming in this afternoon.
3.
What has been on this journey of running your schools together? What's been the hardest lesson you've had to learn?
It's just never-ending lessons. Like, there's just always something going on. It's like the bigger you get, the more problems you have. The
Yeah.
smaller you get, the smaller you are, the more
Local
the
city
bigger
government.
you want to become.
Right.
Permits.
And it's just, I think for us, like, just learning how to be patient and just understanding that there's certain things that are out of your control. Like right now, moving into our new gym, it's out of our control. It's nothing that we're doing wrong. Everything that we've done, it's on our end. We've done good, but just being patient, really, and having the right people around you
Yes.
that support your business, who also understand your vision. Because if you have people that are countering your vision, then you won't be able to succeed in the way that you want to. But it's just really involving having the right type of people around you the whole time, especially when you're running a business. You run a business, all of us run businesses here. So we know the value of like having the right people in place to help us thrive.
I would say it's trusting the process because we know why we got into it and we know why we love jiu-jitsu, but I would say it's like on those days where you're really low because something's going wrong, it's just kind of like reminding yourself why you got into it and particularly why you're running the gym with the person that you're running it with and like just, trusting the process, being patient.
Where can our listeners find more out about you guys' gyms?
Well, you can follow us on Instagram, social media, Torres Jiu-Jitsu. Our website is torresjiu-jitsu.com. Our academy is called Torres Jiu-Jitsu. I am Mike
We do
Torres.
only jiu-jitsu, not Zumba for the people who keep reaching out and asking about Zumba classes. I'm so sick of that.
I saw your post about that. How in the hell does somebody get
I
the
feel like
impression
as
that
a
you guys
joke,
do Zumba?
one of our friends put us on like a Zumba website or something. I'm not even kidding because I had 8 different leads call asking me about Zumba, and like if it's you, Daniel, I'll kill you.
Oh boy.
just tell them you do Brazilian Zumba and just bring them in and see what
Yeah.
happens.
Sign them up.
Yeah, as you start shrimping, it's like dancing. It's fun. Hey, guys, this weekend we have Fury Challenger Series number 8 going down here in H-Town, and we're going to break down this card real quick.
Only 21 fights.
Only 21 fights on the card.
This is one of the biggest cards we've done probably in the last 4 months, 5 months.
Why do you hate me?
Hey.
Kicking off the card, the one true Garcia is still fighting. Lazarus Garcia, the nephew there of what's your name? Eric. Yeah, of Eric, man. Lazarus Garcia.
The Sopapilla Laz Garcia.
The Sopapilla. Coming out for his second fight. This card is stacked full of fun fighters on this card. Xavier Kai. Is it Key or Kai?
It's Key.
Okay, whatever. Rodney Munoz. We got Ross Thurwalker returning against Jesse.
Is that a
Jesus
title fight or no?
Sanchez.
No title.
No title fight yet. And we got the debut of
We don't give belts
Sebastian-
away over here, bruh.
Debut of Sebastian.
We don't give
boy.
belts away over here, bruh.
Sebastian Oyevides is a really good athlete,
This is
man.
Wait,
why it's so
Sebastian's
hard to have
fighting?
this show.
It is.
It's
I could
just-
tell.
Yeah, Sebastian Oyevides.
Sebastian Oyevides.
Is
It's
yeah.
just
Fighting
Punch
MMA.
MMA.
Keep an
Make
eye
that
on him,
debut.
man.
Yeah,
That kid
yeah,
is
That
kid
kid
is
is
something else.
amazing.
What
He's
would be cool is
amazing.
if we like talked a little bit about some of these, you know. I mean,
Sebastian's a
Maggie
stud, man.
Maggie knows
No, I'm a
Sebastian
huge
Oyevides.
fan
I
of
watched Sebastian grow up on the sub
yeah.
stage too.
Yep.
He's a stud, man.
He's amazing. He has a good attitude. He has the best work ethic. Like, he's definitely like the example of we were talking earlier how people need to like make a name by talking shit. He doesn't. He's just really good.
Get this, the
his
kid
aggressive
sold,
style is so fun.
and he sold 80 general admission tickets.
Because he's so well liked. That's what I'm saying. I don't even know that kid well, and I love that kid.
He
Like,
sold 80
I
tickets.
would give
Is he
him
still
an
over there
organ.
at Urban Jungle?
With Tony.
Tony Torres and Ponte?
Great. I'm so excited about that. I feel like I have to go now.
Now y'all have to come.
Yeah, but I've got a toddler, unfortunately, who may have to come with us.
Bring him.
That's how I bring them.
your
Everybody
babies.
brings their
Should
kids.
we bring him?
There's
We
a
getting-
lot of kids
wait,
there.
We have to ask while we're live. Are we getting free tickets?
I got you.
Kairos
Hey
coming.
guys, I just
Connie-
gave my last pair of
That
free
was
tickets
the-
away.
That
Hey,
was the
Connie, if you
last
want to
set of
come
cards we
because
had.
We're
we
all
made
out of
that
free tickets.
terrible
Three
joke
and
about
under
you
admitted
falling.
free, so we don't need one for Kai.
We're all
Also,
out.
Mike's mom needs one because you made that awful joke about
I
her
didn't
falling
make any
when she
jokes.
broke her
I
wrist.
asked about a video.
We're all
And
out of free tickets after Maggie and
Maggie,
Mike.
listen, Maggie started telling us about your mom falling.
Yeah.
And then she started telling
She
us how
started
funny.
laughing?
She
I
was
didn't
like,
mean to laugh. It wasn't.
She laughed as
she
she said
said,
it.
and I quote, she said, and I quote, if we had been there, it would probably sounded like squeaky
I
noises
did
falling
not
down.
say that at all.
She was like,
No, I did not.
squeak, and she hit the ground.
So anyway, that's 4 tickets. Guys. Thank you guys so much.
She
for
was
coming.
diagnosed,
She was
and then she
diagnosed.
fell down the stairs.
And the dog ran away at the
That
same
did not
time.
happen. That did
That's brutal. We're getting canceled.
Listen, don't rewind. Listen to what we said.
Yeah.
It's fine. Trust us.
But anyway,
Trust
we'll be
us.
there then.
Hey,
All
kicking
right.
off our professional side of the card. Hey, listen, we got Christian Lopez and taking on Eduardo Anaya.
Anaya's back.
Anaya's
Action.
back. The return of Dimas Chapas taking on Anthony Valenzuela. Christy, I can't say your name. Tyne Quinco?
Hey, this is like there's 2 names in this female fight. I'm gonna have to get some
Hey,
pronunciation
Christy
on
and
that.
Amanda are fighting each other.
Yeah.
Jose Mercado and Robert Garcia. And then we get to our main card. And once again, Mr. Garcia here has outdone himself with another banging card here in H-Town. Javier Zepeda taking on Justin Longoria, busting Justin Longoria. Kid comes to throw.
3-0 versus 2-0.
Yeah. Jermaine Ponce and Diarra Culpepper. These first 2 fights are 4 of the top young prospects.
Yeah, I was
in
looking at this
flyweight.
I
card.
am
5
really looking
of
forward
these
to Diarra
guys.
Culpepper coming
I
back.
guarantee you, 5 of these fighters on the main card will be on Dana White Contender Series next year.
100%.
5 of them, at least.
Hey, what's the? Sorry, since we're there, what's the qualification to get? Sorry, what's the qualification to get on the contender series? Like, how many fights do you have? to have?
Fight, win.
How
There-
many
well,
fights?
there's
Fight,
really
win,
no
maybe
amount.
win a
Win,
title.
win at Fury.
Be impressive.
Mick and Sean and Dana have to like
Next
what
year.
they've seen.
Fight consistently and get finishes.
I didn't know if there was a certain
Cody?
amount or
Oh
something.
yeah, Cody will be there next
So
year.
Okay.
unless
For
you're,
sure.
unless you're, and we're going to talk about a guy. Unless you're Bo Nickel,
Yeah.
you need to probably have between 6 to 7 wins, 6, 7, 8 wins, somewhere in that. Like
Wins,
they want you
not fights.
wins.
Okay.
They want you, but also finishes.
Yeah.
You have to have finishes to be on there.
Right.
So, or like to be fair, they brought in our champ, Sawadi, to take on a guy who finishes everybody, and our champ had a lot of decisions.
Oh, yeah, I saw
Abdul.
that.
So he was the underdog going into that fight. But what did he do in that fight? He fought unlike he's ever fought, and let his hands go. It was crazy, and that's how he won himself a contract. So for Contender Series, and just like the UFC, they want to see finishes. That's all they care about. When we're talking with Mick or we're talking with Sean, and we pull up a guy's record, the first thing to look at is how many. Okay, he's got 10 wins. How many ever finishes?
Are we gonna have any ladies on there anytime soon? You think?
Bring 'em.
We're trying to build. We're trying to build
had
the
one last-
division.
we
Do you
had
know
one
any
this year.
ladies that want to fight?
Well, I guess I'm asking, like, are there any ladies who have been able to fight that consistently?
So we had Rain Guerrero go to Contender Series this
Okay,
year.
that's
Now
awesome.
she didn't win. She had a good fight, but she
Yeah,
didn't
she did.
win.
Had a great fight.
She'll be back next year on it for sure. There's a good crop of ladies coming up
We
now.
plan on Mia and Kara
Yeah.
Greenwell eventually making
Mia's
it.
killing
Kara
it.
Greenwell.
Probably won't be
Liv-
next year, though.
Liv
Yeah,
Byerly.
probably gonna be a couple years from
I
now.
think Olivia Byerly,
Olivia
will
Byerly
probably
as
be
well.
out there as well too.
Okay.
Oh,
I would say we
yeah.
probably got 4 to 5 females who
That's awesome.
plus there's a whole crop of Madison Gwynn, Sandy. and all those
Houston
ones.
women, show up.
Yeah.
That's it. Just
Texas women, show up.
We need them anywhere, U.S. anywhere. I actually have 2 Brazilians that we're
Yeah.
bringing in next month to fight females.
Hey, also on this card, we got Ricardo Canales taking on striking lizard Oliver Jimenez. And then we got the fight that everyone's talking about right now. This guy could be the next Bo Nickel. Literally, he is
Bo Nickel's homeboy, right?
teammates with Bo Nickel. They're best friends.
Bo
So you
will
got
be here this weekend.
John Giantasio taking on D1 2019 D1 national champion Anthony Cassar. Anthony Cassar is one of the best wrestlers that you're going to see out there when it comes to prospects in MMA right now. He was, 3 years in a row, he got injured going in. He was never like the favorite to win, but he was always considered like this really good wrestler coming out. He'd get injured, didn't get his chance. Finally, 2019, he comes out there and it runs through everybody, gets out there, wins his D1 title. So we're really excited to have him on it. This will be his Fury debut. He's 1-0 at heavyweight, but he's dropping down to 205. And this is a guy that Mick and Dana and everyone, like the whole world's looking to see what Anthony Cassar looks like on Sunday. And this could be a coming out show for him as well. This is a guy, when you talk about, he now, with Contender Series ending and starting up again next year, he could probably have 3 or 4 fights before he gets called up. But he's a guy who, if he had won this weekend and this was back in July, he probably got called up at 2-0 or 3-0. He has that big of a following, that big of a potential. So that's Anthony Cassar this weekend. This fight I'm excited about. Sean Moore and Gabriel Wanderlei.
Yeah.
2 undefeated prospects.
Wanderlei's a fucking killer on the
Dude.
ground, man.
Man, both
I've been saying
bantamweights.
that name wrong
Our
forever.
bantamweight division is stacked, and these guys are right there in the hunt.
Is that how you say it?
Wanderlei?
Wanderlei?
I've been saying that name wrong forever. I've been saying Bonder.
Yeah, I did it on a broadcast, so
I think if it's I don't know when you change the W to a V in Portuguese.
It's just like when
but
you change the
What,
J
isn't it
to
Bonder?
if you're in Germany or wherever,
H
I
in
don't think
Spanish.
because he's not Brazilian, right?
He is.
So it's probably
Well,
Bonder.
shit is Wanderlei then.
Well, when we
Oh,
asked
snap!
him though, he
linguistics
said
lesson.
Wanderlei.
He did tell us Wanderlei.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm wrong.
Maybe he's just American it up.
Well,
for
is it
everybody, I don't know.
Jose or Jose?
Huh?
Is it Jose or Jose?
Is it George or Jorge?
Stop.
Yeah,
Is it
right.
Joao or Yoao?
Because
Is it Jimenez or
He's
Jimenez?
like it's Jorge. Man.
Well, I think if it's a J, I'm going to say Jorge.
Well, he
She's
just
right.
said
George.
Jimenez.
Who
I think
did?
it's
You
Jimenez.
did.
Listen,
This
I'm-
lesson in false
I don't know,
linguistics
but I know
brought
the
to you
first
by
time I did
Howlerhead
commentary,
Whiskey.
there were so
Listen,
many
as
words
an,
and people were like,
as an
"How was your
Irish
last
Cajun
name,
black
Torres?"
man, that's the way I'm going to say it.
That's wrong.
Okay?
That's wrong.
Thank you.
I pronounced every last name.
And you
wrong
are
in
the
commentary.
blackest Irish Cajun.
I am the blackest Irish
Yeah.
Cajun here. Gerardo Granell
With
taking
no
on Luis
mustache.
Gurriel. Gurule or
Luis
Gurriel?
Gurule.
See, now you're going to be really
Luis
thinking about it.
Gurule.
Garbage. Why am I the guy
Hey,
reading this shit?
Luis,
Why?
every time I mispronounce your
I'll
name,
be
it's
the one
Rich
that messes it
Burmaster's
up.
fault.
Yes,
man.
Luis Gurule.
Why is it the actual announcer the one reading
Yeah,
it?
it probably should be you.
I was gonna try, but
He's too
Rich,
drunk.
Rich is, he's
Who's
very
the main
hands-on.
card?
You're on 20. Who's the main card?
We're on the main
We're
card.
almost there.
That's
We're
where we
almost
are
to the
right
main
now.
Oh, sorry. I
We
got
got
excited.
Luis Gurule taking on Gerardo Granell.
That's
I figured I'd
definitely
dress
wrong.
that one up.
That's definitely wrong.
He's actually German.
Oh,
so
yeah?
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
We got
Hey, cheers to
and
that.
our co-main event, Shane Torres taking on Carlos Jimenez, that H-Town dog getting ready to throw
Jimenez.
down.
See,
Come on,
see,
dude.
I was just trying to get
Is
to the
it
next one.
Jimenez or
I think
Jimenez?
it's Jimenez.
Jimenez.
But I'm probably wrong.
some more?
because
His
I'm
first name's Carlos. It's not Jimenez.
And in our main event,
Jimenez.
we've got Eduardo Alvarado taking on the always
Hey,
dangerous
listen.
John Giannis.
Ed-
the
Eduard-
juice, John Giannis.
Eduardo's
What do
out
you
there
say
playing,
juice?
training with Moreno right now. With Brandon.
Out at Fortis? Or down
they're-
in Mexico?
They're in Vegas.
He's not in Mexico. That's Diego Lopez. That's Diego
Jesus
Lopez.
Christ. Give me your fucking drink, Rich. You're
Nah,
done.
back off my shit.
I think he
You're
was
done.
like this before we started.
He
recording,
was.
to be fair.
I was,
Remember
to
when
be
he
fair.
strutted his shit to turn off
Hey,
the
he
camera?
invited us to Korean Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're going to go to Korean
Do you know his
Thanksgiving.
wife's Korean?
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Chuseok.
Yeah,
Chuseok.
yeah. All that
He
good
said he
shit.
didn't know.
I don't know
He doesn't know any
Listen,
Korean.
I
You
know.
don't know any Korean?
I know the food they give me.
Your wife is
I know
Korean?
bulgogi and
Not
yakimandos and yeah, my wife's Korean. Makes sense, right? Someone's got to be good at numbers in our house. It's not me. So, like, If you ever seen an Excel spreadsheet come for me, think of my wife. Because she for sure fixed that shit up.
Your wife is great.
Yeah,
She
no.
cooked the books.
Yeah, so like my first year going out there, so her family is Korean and white, like trash white, like Korean and white. So because her dad's from Virginia, which we all have had experiences there, and so he's from like the hills, and her mom is from North Korea. So
North Korea?
I say that all the time. It's probably wrong.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's wrong.
Probably
I think they're
wrong.
from Seoul or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
that's
But,
not north. That's south.
yeah, so, but I'm always like north. So like our first year when we were dating, went out there for Thanksgiving.
To Korea?
No, Rogers, Texas.
Oh.
we go there, and I'm thinking like Thanksgiving food, man. I walk in. I still to this point thought my wife was like Hispanic or Indian or some shit because she's white and Korean, and I just never
somehow that
noticed.
equals
I never
Hispanic.
noticed
Never
the
had a
eyes.
conversation. Oh my god. Well, you never had a conversation like, hey, so we're
Why would I? No, because I have like no family, so I
Hey,
don't ask that.
I
of
don't know.
people.
How long were you dating?
We're white. We can't ask those questions.
We've been dating about 5 months.
What's wrong with you?
Why would I? Hey, what ethnicity? Why do I care?
Why would you not know?
You're having sex with me.
Oh my god.
That's all that matters.
You know,
That's priorities right there.
Thank you.
They're grinding elbows.
I'm not like,
mean,
I wonder where your mom is
And she's
from.
not grossed out, so.
Yeah, like we're not in the shower, and I'm like, so where's your mom from? No, like we're not.
Did she make Korean food?
Hey, have
My
you done
wife-
23 and me?
Okay, that's different
No.
then. Yeah.
So my wife like knows no Korean either
Oh, okay.
because
okay.
she like
That's
rebelled.
different.
She like rebelled against her mom.
So
her
like
life.
culturally, she didn't feel super Korean.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
no.
totally different
No.
then.
So like I mean, she grew up in small town,
She
Texas
wears
too.
kimono everywhere, but
Yeah, she
besides
does.
That's
that-
Japanese.
Besides that,
Yeah.
are you saying they can't wear kimonos in North Korea?
She makes a lot of lo mein. And what are we doing? It's Chinese. So we
challenging each other culturally
So we-
and failing.
So we get there and like her, I see the table and there's like turkey and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, man. And then the other side of the table is all this Korean food. And I'm like, what is this?
All those side
and her
dishes.
brother's over there,
Banchan,
and I
all
see
the-
him taking like seaweed and putting bulgogi and rice in and just popping them in his mouth. And I'm like, what are we doing here? And from that moment on, I'm Korean as fuck.
That's all it takes, man.
This shit is delicious,
Yep.
man. So her mom
Seriously.
will send me back like boxes of like yakimando she makes and bulgogi, and I just defrost it and like cook it up.
By the way, that's literally Mike's nickname from
Look at that
Korea
here.
because
Look
they
at-
said
look
it
at-
looked like mandu, so they
It
would just call
does.
him mandu.
It really
That's
does.
so not on
Look at the other
camera
one.
at all.
It does.
There you go. There you
It
go. Lean
does.
into. There you
There we
go.
go.
Got one on that
Yeah.
side too.
Isn't that delicious?
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, yummy.
Hey, the howler head
we're
has
not trying
affected
to-
Maggie
we're
Torres.
not trying to add another baby
My
here in the
mind's
studio.
telling me
we're not.
no. But my
one's
body
Kairo's
and your
like 12.
cauliflower ears are telling me yes.
Get in the bed and tell me what ethnicity you are, baby.
Cairo is like 12 children in one, so we're good.
Do you guys want to have more kids?
We're gonna adopt.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, for real.
Don't do that.
Hey, he speaks from experience.
Don't do
You know, as, you know.
Why?
That's window shopping. Don't do that. No, I support that.
Only,
No, I
only,
have,
only
like-
Rich can make those jokes.
I had a super traumatic pregnancy, and I just have like or delivery, and I have.
Oh,
like,
that's right.
Yeah, that's
that-
right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember
You almost passed out. You almost
No,
passed
that was
out.
terrible.
Hey,
Mike
at least
turned
she didn't
green.
say
Oh, yeah,
that.
I was there for that,
At least she
yeah.
wasn't like the conception was fucking terrible, right?
Yeah,
It was pretty
so
traumatizing,
yeah,
though.
so I
I
don't
do
want
remember.
to
I-
do that
That,
again.
but I remember it.
So you guys are gonna adopt?
We'd like to.
That's cool, man. It is a bullshit process in the States
Yes,
to do
it
it.
is.
what I hear.
Now, if you guys can, I know you can adopt overseas.
I
It's
would
not as
love to
bad.
do. I would love to do international
It's
adoption.
like eBay over
but
there, right?
at the
It
same
is
time,
like-
I'm like,
yeah.
I just like to adopt a kid that doesn't have a family. That's kind of
Well, that's
my
all.
only priority. You know, like, well, it's not though. There's a lot of red tape actually. So so I'm from Wisconsin, and it's actually really hard to adopt. A lot of Native American kids, they'll
there's
send
a lot
them
of
to like the
orphans in
next of
Wisconsin.
kin. So it's actually really hard to adopt. You have to foster to adopt.
Yeah,
because
do you have
they're-
cash?
Huh?
Do you have cash?
They don't care about that.
No,
they-
you can get a baby.
Yeah, it's a
Reservation,
little-
you can get it. I can get you.
Uh,
You want
It's
a baby?
a little bit different.
Where are
It's
you
a little bit
shopping?
different.
If you want,
Where are you shopping?
if you want a
Where do you
baby-
just have discount
We
babies?
can
Like,
get you a
how is
baby.
this like a?
You know, it makes no sense. Like we have a problem with obviously there's kids that need to be adopted, and how come you don't see commercials for that?
I know.
How come
yeah.
they're not telling us where
You
these
don't
kids
hear
are?
it.
But
so
you
that we
see
can
like
adopt
a
these
Sarah
kids?
McLachlan commercial for a dog. You know, I mean, why don't we see it for a dog? That's a great question.
Well, valid. Yeah, there's a lot
No,
of kids
adoption's
out there.
great, man. Yeah, like
It's
I
wanted to do that even before we didn't think we could have kids. I don't know if I should be saying that. We didn't think we could, so that was actually a really
Was it just
cool
figuring out like the
surprise.
sex thing, or?
No, I thought I
Oh.
was told I could
Damn.
not.
I admit different. I thought you didn't know how.
Oh no, we were like, how? Like I had like dolls, and I was like, do we put this here? Does this go
How to
here?
roast my homeboy.
But
Mike's like, I don't know what to do. The goo.
so here's
it go?
doll A.
Where does it go?
Here's doll B.
What do I do with this goo? I don't know. I keep putting it in the cup. I don't know what to do.
It's in the sock. What do I do with it?
Ew.
Wipe the sock on yourself.
That's so
I
nasty.
don't know.
Oh.
What happened to this show?
Yeah, so we'd like to.
It's over.
Maggie, this is all your fault. This is all your
I'm
fault.
sorry. I'm sorry.
But Eduardo Alvarado is taking on John Giannis, and apparently Eduardo's nickname is El Pube. How?
What?
Where did that come from? That's on Topology.
El Pube?
I didn't make that up.
Pube.
I didn't make that up.
El Pube.
El Pube.
El
Jesus
Pube.
Not El
Christ.
That's El Pube.
Why did I get that one right and you got that one wrong?
That's El Pube.
What's
I don't care what you
Pube?
guys.
What is
I don't
Pube in
Yeah.
in your foreign language?
I have
What is
no
that?
I don't know. Anyway, it might as well be El Pube.
Hey, but listen, he's a badass though.
Well, we
He's
got
gonna
to
be
work on the
excited.
nickname for him
El
because
Pube.
you know,
Pube.
He's gonna be exciting.
Are you looking it up?
I'm looking it up.
What's it come back? It says hair. Like,
it,
what?
it doesn't translate well, so we got to like come up with like like the lion or something.
Trash in this dude.
The
Public
lion. The
region.
time for talk is over.
Are we done?
Yes.
All right, hey guys, listen. This
It
has
means
been.
a Mexican traveling salesman of sex gadgets. What?
Well,
yeah, you're right.
that was better. Hey guys, the time for talk is over. We're out. That's done. This has been Fury Unleashed.
That's the best fucking nickname ever.
Come
What are you
on.
doing?
And now, Houston, Texas, make some noise because the time for talk is over. It's time to unleash the fury.